badass. The only chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, you could run lickety split. But you can't run because you're the badass. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the games of line. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the arm him all night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? No, I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal. I'm the man.
Booking a match for the total package Lex Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane. I say thank you very much.
Make a good lucha.
I hate God!
Hit the deck! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner!
Today, woo, I've got the star and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
Everybody, what is going on? How is everybody doing? Oh man, it has been a rough week, I guess you could say, but we're all making it through. But what is going on, everybody? It's Wednesday night. I am Boxman. This is Dirt Sheet Dudes, and riding shotgun with me, the stupendous Mark Wahlberg.
Yes, right. Stupendous as always. How are you, sir?
Been better. I think we've all been a little better as wrestling fans. Unfortunately, we don't have much good news tonight, to be honest with you guys. Obviously, we all know about Scott Hall. We're gonna definitely get started talking about that. But otherwise, man, anything else going on?
No, there's plenty going on. We got free labor to talk about soon. There's lawsuits, mild homophobia, perhaps. There's all kinds of stuff we can talk about.
True. Tony Storm starting an OnlyFans seems to be the big news of the day.
Yes, uplifting both literally and figuratively.
Something's gonna lift up.
Swing.
All right.
I enjoy how you just doubled down on that. It's like, if you didn't get it, what we're talking about is boners.
Well, I mean, if you weren't, if you were born past the 90s or don't listen to Hollywood Hangout, you might not know about Wayne's World and the swing. So,
That is true.
there you go. So, you just don't know. But I guess we can skip plugs tonight. We'll do it at the end one more time. It just feels weird, like transitioning from plugs into this, all happy and stuff. But obviously, we heard over the weekend that Scott Hall was going in for some hip surgery, and you don't think much of it. That's why we didn't really mention it. Hip surgery, you go in, you go out. It's not a big deal. Well, I guess Scott Hall. It seems like he had 3 heart attacks on the surgery table while he was in there, and I think I woke up. I think it was Sunday morning or Sunday. Sunday we started hearing he was on the ventilator. Correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. And we heard that, and then Monday I wake up. And everyone's saying, okay, well, his family's coming, and once they're all in place, it was actually Kevin Nash. Once the family is in place, they are going to take him off the ventilator. I don't know if they had a DNR from him. A do not resuscitate. Some people have those. They don't want to live on, life support at all. If I'm at that point, some people just want to go ahead and take the rest of the journey,
Right.
So that's what they did. I guess he did make it for a few hours actually. I think it was around 4 p.m. Everybody was reporting, and I believe around 9:30 we started hearing about Scott Hall's passing.
Yeah.
Pretty tough, man. There is not. I mean, I know a lot of times on this show I say, oh, when Warrior passed, a piece of my childhood. Scott Hall wasn't just a piece of my childhood. Scott Hall was a chunk of my 20s also.
Right.
A chunk of my newly free, every Monday was a Raw/Nitro party at my house. Watching Scott Hall, seeing Scott Hall. I always liked the Razor Ramon gimmick, and I loved him even more when he came out in WCW in '96. It was just great. And like I said, man, I was just kind of getting out on my own at that time. And I was 21 years old in '96, so I was just getting out on my own. I had my first apartment, then I had a house, and I would just sit there and watch. But he was a chunk of my 20s watching Nitro, flipping back and forth to Raw, going back to Nitro, and just a lot of things that it's just tough, man. It's just like I said, it's not just a piece of my childhood taken away. It's like a little slice of my life just got cut out,
Right. And I mean, even those WCW days or, the WWF days, even before then, he had like almost an entire like half of a career before that. Because he was in AWA for a while, and there was the whole initial first WCW run, Diamond Stud hanging out with DDP and all of that. So like even, like even when people start kind of thinking about when he came into their lives, or like, when he landed his first big role, like he had already had several years in the business as it was.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. And, he's told the story that, he kind of walked up to Vince and he was like, have you seen that movie Scarface? And of course, Vince said no.
Yeah, it was the 90s, so he wouldn't have seen a movie that was at that point, about 15 to 20 years old.
Yeah, too new for Vince. Too new. But I just, like I said, man, it's just like a big, excuse me, a big chunk of my, a big chunk of my life just kind of feels like it got kind of taken from me. I mean, Scott Hall was doing great. We had feared the worst for him 5-6 years ago when, there was videos of him coming out on shows looking slightly intoxicated. I'm going to be nice about it. But I mean, since he's been with DDP, he's been great. He's looked great. You can tell he's feeling great. He was in a great place in life. And it's horrible when he's just kind of taken from you. And, there were no signs, nothing expected, just bang.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite sort of the real sad part about it is you kind of, once you kick your demons, you think that you're going to have them around for a very long time. And I mean, like you said, he ended up getting more time because of the good decisions he made later on in life than he potentially would have had he kept down the road that he was going down X amount of years ago when, like you said, you were seeing him on independent shows or whatever, and he looked like he might have been drunk or what have you. And there was there was an E360 report that ESPN did, and he was in a pretty bad state there, and he talked about like what the catalyst was for why he, how he ended up down that road with the time he was working at, I guess he was a bodyguard, or not a bodyguard, but like a bouncer at a strip club.
Yep.
And he ended up shooting a man, which in self-defense, but he had to do what he had to do, and that just kind of followed him along. And because of that, he had a pretty big albatross hanging over his head, and he ended up having his battles with demons. And then he finally managed, like you said, with the help of DDP, get rid of those. And it's sad to see somebody that when they're going down, very much like Eddie Guerrero, they're making the right choices, and then it still just ends up being not because of what he's, what he had done before, but they still end up leaving earlier than you think that they should. It's still just disappointing.
Yeah, most definitely, man. That's pretty tough what he had to go through there. I've said many times, being a concealed weapons carrier myself, that I never want to have that on my conscience ever. I hope I never have to pull my gun. I hope it's just there as a fucking belt weight for as long as I have it. But I could see where you just don't want that on your conscience. And I mean, self-defense or not, you still took a man's life.
Right.
That I don't even want that weight on me ever. I don't want to take someone's father, someone's son, someone's, I never want that on my head. So I can see where it came from. And I don't really want to get a lot into that, because I mean, that we all know his past, and not really about his past right now, but it's just like I said, man, I just remember all those good times, and like Dirk is saying, all the things that we thought would take down Scott Hall, I don't think anyone thought it was going to be a blood clot. And those things are dangerous, man. Did you ever watch Deadliest Catch?
Not Deadliest Catch, but in relation to blood clots, it's also how Chris Candido passed away.
Yeah, you're right. So they can, especially if they go through a lung or something like that. I just remember, because Deadliest Catch had a captain named Phil, and that's exactly what happened to him on the boat. They had to rush him off the boat back to shore, and it's pretty rough stuff, man. But I mean, that's definitely not the way we thought Scott Hall would go. It's sad, man. But we got a few Scott Hall promos. We'll talk about them as we play them. That we'll play. I'm kind of trying to figure out where to start here. You know what? Why don't we start with the little tribute that Hulk Hogan did? Now, Hulk Hogan's getting a little shit for this. Oh, it was a bad taste. Yes, Hulk Hogan's getting some shit. Imagine that, Smark.
I'm just like, I'm wondering how he's going to turn this into like just self-aggrandizement. So, well, Scott Hall always said, I was his favorite wrestler, so I'm glad that he didn't have to deal with my passing. But like, oh god.
But I mean, they did obviously. I'm sharing my screen real quick. They did obviously have a pretty good pass together. We know that. So, I get what he was doing. Was it in bad taste? A little bit, maybe. Well,
I have not heard or seen this yet, so I and our listeners will be the judge of that. So we'll see. I mean, Hulk Hogan being tacky and being in poor taste is kind of part of the cards, but we'll see.
Hopefully you can hear and see everything. I'm going to go through the he comes in a little entrance, all he's hugging people, and let's get to where he starts talking. Okay, right about here is good. Can you see this?
I can see this, yes.
Okay, I'm going to pray you can hear it. I don't have any volume on right now, so that's why you can't hear anything. So
for those who can't see it, Hulk Hogan is dressed exactly how you think Hulk Hogan would be dressed. Jimmy Hart is alongside of him, of course. I'm sure Brutus Beefcake is lurking in the wings somewhere.
I'm sure he is. All right, so let's hope you can hear this. Wave me down if you can't or something, but here we go. I'm going to play this right now.
Hey, yo. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate every one of you Hulkamaniacs for life, brother. A short while ago, a good friend of mine just passed away, Scott Hall. So in Jesus' name I pray, thank you, God, for taking care of my brother. He took care of me when I was down and out, and everybody thought Hulkamania was dead. Scott Hall resurrected me. He put me back on the map. I love him so much I can't even explain it to you. He had a bunch of faults. Hello? He had a bunch of faults, but he was a good guy. I just want to let everybody know here. I just want to let everybody know here tonight that he's in our thoughts.
I'm happy to know even the best of us have audio issues.
Oh my God, I mean, that's nothing to laugh at, but that reminds me of that movie. I can't remember the band name at the moment, but the Spinal Tap. It reminds me of it's a fucking Spinal Tap moment, to be sure.
Spinal Tap, yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, come on, we got to have a little fun with this. It's Hulk Hogan, but yeah, I'm just glad to hear some audio issues. And by the way, this obviously is in Hulk Hogan's place in Tampa Bay, the Beach Shop, I think he calls it. So just to let y'all know where he's at, I believe he kind of goes there every night and kind of parties at the shop. So here we go, one more time.
Hello. Yeah. Anyway, I just want everybody to know that he's in our thoughts and prayers tonight. And he just passed. I had a real hard time getting my act together and getting over here. But I love you too, baby. But bad times don't last, but bad guys do. Okay? So, for the original bad guy, Scott Hall, that took, hey, yo, is right, mother. For the original bad guy that took Hulk Hogan and taught Hollywood how to be a bad guy, I got nothing for love, for life, brothers, all right? So the last thing I have to say is thank you once again, and I got to do this because he's the guy, he's the man. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Rattlesnake, in honor of him. There's been a bunch of controversy because I said Ric Flair was the greatest wrestler of all time, but it really could be Stone Cold. And we're ready to party now because if Scott Hall was here, he would party with us. Believe me, he would party all night long, brothers, believe me. So, in honor of...
He's here.
Yeah, he's here, brother, he's with us. So in honor of Stone Cold, total respect, we're getting ready to rock this house, so... Anybody want to party? Give me a damn hell yeah! I said, give me a hell yeah! Thank you, God. Love you guys. Jimmy Hart, do what you do.
All right, baby.
Because I love you.
I love you, baby. The Hookster's in the house.
And right back into the shtick. All right. First of all,
you can't expect Hogan not to be Hogan.
No, you can't. I'm just gonna leave this share on as long as it ain't fucking with nothing. Doesn't look like it is, so we'll leave it on. I don't have a problem with anything he said. I mean, yeah, did he make it about him? It's fucking Hulk Hogan. Of course, he made it about him a couple times, but at least he gave Hall, props for because he did put Hogan back on the map, and as Hollywood Hogan. And, at least he did that. I guess.
I mean, there was those stories about when they were first doing the NWO vignettes and Hogan was still just doing Hogan promos. And, Nash and Hall had to take him aside and be like, hey, that's not going to work anymore. You guys are going to have to fucking try something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do something else, man, because just crazy. But on the heels of that little thing, it is actually 3/16. Today is Stone Cold Steve Austin Day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which, I mean, to tie things back together with that, to have both of them involved, that was one of the kind of memories that sticks in my head when you talk about Scott Hall's that WrestleMania match where he gives Hall the stunner and Hall just does a double fucking backflip in the air. Him and The Rock always had the best sell for the stunner.
Oh, him and Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
I always love the way Shane sold that move too. Shane was awesome at selling that move too. So, always like that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, come on, Hogan just heard about it, and I mean, he said, I don't see anything wrong with what he said. A lot of people just said it was in bad taste to go to your, beach, whatever you call that, and kind of just keep partying. But I mean, but maybe that's also what he needed that night. I can't blame the guy for just wanting to get some shit off his mind, doing what he does, and he's got a responsibility to that place. So I don't know, man. I don't have an issue with it. I mean, I whatever. Hulk Hogan, I'm not the biggest fan of his. I mean, we all know what he did, what he said. There's no reason to get into that. Mm-hmm. But I have no problem with what he did, what he said right here. Not a bit. Mm-hmm. So I guess we can go ahead and move on a little bit. Like I said, we're going to play a few promos, kind of a little Scott Hall, Razor Ramon tribute. And I do have the first Razor Ramon vignette here. It's 1 minute, 7 seconds long. Let's go ahead and hit it.
We take you now, ladies and gentlemen, to a Cuban immigrant, an individual who apparently feels as though the streets of America are paved with gold. Here is Razor Ramon.
Ramon. Razor Ramon. I come from the gutter. I know that. I got no education. Who needs it? Look at me. Look at me. Look at the gold. Look at my clothes. I'm a success. I'm coming to the WWF. All I want is what I got coming to me. The world, chico. Everything in it.
Now, he looks like a bad guy from Miami Vice here.
A little bit, yeah.
Which was totally in style at the time of this promo. Sure. But yeah, this was the first vignette of his, and this looks like it might have been shot right in Miami. A lot of his vignettes were shot in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this probably was. I didn't really read the name of the place, but probably isn't there anymore anyway. So, but let's face it, Scott Hall could always talk. He was always great. He had a great look. Even back to the, you went to the Diamond Stud days and all those days. He was a fucking massive human being, man. Mm-hmm. I don't think Scott Hall was really known as a big man.
No, he has Billy Gunn syndrome, where basically, people don't realize how tall he is until you actually, you're one-on-one with the guy. Because, for the longest, he's forever associated with Nash, and Nash is almost 7 foot himself, so it's just one of those things, to a lesser extent, even what we talked about before, JTG, is, you don't realize how tall he actually is, because he's been tag team partners with Chad for the longest of times. So it's one of those things where you do land of the Giants.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I see. Yeah, Nash made him look little by comparison, is what you're saying. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, he was a fucking. But you look at those pictures back in those days, and he was not. He was not small. He was a fucking huge guy. But just even in this video, you can see how just wide and jacked he is. So I don't know, man, just great stuff by him. He's always been able to talk. I remember as a kid, running around my house trying to do Razor Ramon. My dad wouldn't like it, but I tried it anyway.
Oh, of course, as a child, because I was the prime of that gimmick, especially. I was 7, 8 years old, whatever. Anytime we go to a restaurant, they'd have toothpicks. Of course, I got to grab a toothpick. He had a toothpick in the mouth. Razor Ramon, and he kept the toothpick for the most part when he was Hall too, or when he was in WCW, just being himself, I guess. But yes, anytime there was a toothpick available, you had to get the toothpick.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you went outside, you flicked it.
Mm-hmm.
At least I waited till I got outside. I don't know if you did.
Oh, of course I did. I have nothing if not couth.
Exactly. All right. So, Mark, let's go to 1993 here. A little Razor Ramon promo from 3/13/1993. Wow. Just a few days ago, it was 3/13 and 1993, a long time ago. Minute and 2 seconds. Here we go.
Yo, perfecto. Hitman. Óyeme, chicos. This is Razor Ramon. It's no secret that every wrestler wants to be on top of the WWF. And it's no secret that anything goes. Razor Ramon will do whatever it takes. So now, chicos, your troubles have doubled. 'Cause Razor Ramon, he got a partner, man. You won't believe. He this big, he this wide. His name is Lex Luger. And we're gonna put you out. That gorilla monsoon.
Hold it. Stop. Sorry about that. I got ahead of myself there. So there you go. 1993, man. God damn. We'll play a couple more Razors, and then we'll get into a little bit of Scott Hall. I'm not going to play as many as I was going to, but you know what? Let's skip this one here, and let's go to the Razor Ramon promo on Randy Savage. I remember when he came into the WCW, he would call him the Nacho Man.
It was his first feud, WWF.
Uh-huh. Oh, really? Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was. So
yeah, I was watching an interview with him. They were talking about that. I mean, that goes to show you the kind of faith that they had in the guy when that's his very first feud.
Yeah, you're right. Well, here's one of those promos, and then we'll go ahead and get to him invading WCW Nitro, May 27th, 1996. Here we go. Let's do this quick Randy Savage, Razor Ramon promo.
Let's just say we're on the buddy system.
You know, Razor Ramon, I talked to them.
Cállate, chico. Hey, Randy Savage. Mira. Look at me, man. I know limping. Hey, Savage. Where's your gold, man? I still got mine, man. You lost yours, man. You lost your machismo, chico. And now you want to step into the ring with Razor Ramon, El Jefe? You not just lose your belt, man. You not just lose your machismo, man. You want to fight Razor Ramon? You lost your mind, chico.
I guess you're pretty happy about all this, aren't you? Huh?
Fucking great stuff, man. Great stuff, man. Even for back then, you got to remember it's just different time, and he was such a good character. He
Absolutely.
was such a great character, man. It was just great stuff. And like I said, I'm just getting rid of some of this stuff. I want to play all of the stuff. Now, we might as well just get into Scott Hall instead of Razor Ramon now. And now we all know kind of, WCW was really where, most people remember Razor Ramon. But when you talk about Scott Hall, you obviously think WCW, The Outsiders, NWO, all that good stuff. And now, before we go into that, though, you know what I did watch yesterday? And I'll tell you the truth, it made me fucking tear up. When he was on Jerry Springer with the kids, one of them had AIDS. I think the other little girl had cancer. And he gave the little boy his belt. Oh, my God, dude. This is a guy who's supposed to be the bad guy, and he's doing stuff like that. We all know the story. He wasn't supposed to give that kid his belt. He did it out of the kindness of his heart. And just great stuff, man. No one such a, like I said, known as the bad guy, but if you see the outpour of, you know, tributes and stuff, which we're going to play some just from WWE itself, you can see that he definitely wasn't a bad guy. He was a fucking really great guy. And, all right, let's go ahead and play this right here from Nitros, Mark.
Sure.
The Mauler completely maul his opponent, Steve Dahl.
Well, you know, Steve Dahl was trying to get an offensive going.
Wait a minute.
But
what the hell is going on here?
But the Mauler, well, he just got reversed right there. The Mauler runs him down. What are you talking about?
Look here.
Well, what the hell?
Wait a minute.
Somebody give me a mic. Give me a mic. What's with this?
Wait, we need security here. I have no idea.
Hey.
Wait a minute. I can't believe it. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
You people,
What's with him?
you know who I am. But you don't know why I'm here.
Are we going to get security here?
Where is Billionaire Ted? Where is the Nacho Man? That punk can't even get in the building. Me, I go wherever I want, whenever I want.
Listen, we need to get somebody to talk.
And where, oh where, is Scheme Gene? 'Cause I got a scoop for you. When that Ken doll look-alike, when that weatherman wannabe comes out here later tonight, I got a challenge for him, for Billionaire Ted, for the Nacho Man, and for anybody else in WCW. Hey, you want to go to war? You want a war? You're going to get one.
And as we all know, that was the start of one hell of a run for wrestling.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. It really was, man. And I mean, that was some great stuff right there. I remember that. I remember everyone, like, people calling my house, change channel, change channel. I was like, okay. It was just great stuff. And then obviously Scott Hall followed, and we found out about Hollywood Hulk Hogan. So really just great stuff by him right there. Man, I got to tell you, man, the guy just oozed cool when I was,
Absolutely.
especially when you were younger. I mean, he was like what you thought of when you just thought of a cool, slick guy.
Right.
That is what I always thought of when someone said, you know, who do you think is like a cool person? Fucking Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. That's a cool motherfucker right there. So
For sure, yeah. Like we'll probably talk about it a little bit more later or whatever. But I was watching one of the NWO promos. I think it was like the very beginning. It might even been the night they were formed. Somebody threw something. They hit him like square in the head with like a can of soda. And he it got all over him, and he just like ran the liquid back and just used it to gel his hair, and just didn't miss a step and just kept talking. And it was just like that's a cool motherfucker.
absolutely no sold it like it didn't even happen. You're right. Just ran the shit. It was like a full cup of fucking soda. Ran it through his hair. Didn't touch the little curly Q in the front though.
Mm-hmm.
The old Superman curl. Fucking always love that shit, man. Just a great character who knew how to talk, knew how to just I mean, even his body language just said he was a cool son of a bitch, you know?
Right.
So, all right, let's go to January 16th, 1999. This would have been the NWO Wolfpack. And this says it's a rare Scott Hall promo from then. I didn't listen to this one. So we're both in for a treat.
There you go.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm standing by right now with Scott Hall. Tomorrow night, it's sold out. He is going to be facing Goldberg. And as I understand it, this apparatus, this stun stick, this cattle prod.
Okay.
I call it my thunder gun, Gene.
can immobilize a man is going to be suspended. Don't do that to me, please. Will be suspended high above the ring, and a ladder is going to be involved. You take this 10-foot ladder, you can reach another 8 or 9 feet at least.
At least.
Sets the stage for a very dramatic match, because whoever gets to this stun stick gets to use it on his opponent. Don't do that, please.
You know, the way I see it, Gene, everybody knows about the phenomenon Bill Goldberg. 174 straight wrestling matches he won. Well, Billy Boy, tomorrow you're in your first ever gimmick match. And I know you don't even know what a gimmick match is, so let me explain it to you. We're taking my Thunder Gun, putting it high above the ring. We got a 10-foot steel ladder down the aisle. There's no rules, no ref, no time limit. Anything goes. If you get this, you get to use it on me. And Gene, if I get it, I get to use it on Goldberg. Again.
After what you cost him at Starrcade, Scott Hall, I would be a little more apprehensive than you are apparently here at the 11th hour.
Well, it's a good thing it's not you wrestling Goldberg, huh, Gene?
I don't get involved.
Goldberg, you don't scare me. You might scare a lot of people, but see, I found a way to beat the cyborg. That's why they call me the high-tech redneck.
All right, Scott Hall, this 10-foot high ladder.
The high-tech redneck. Did anyone ever call him that?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, and that's the funny thing is like, gee, what a difference it makes when you actually have interviewers that have a personality that you can play off of. Like, gee, it's so much different seeing Mean Gene versus seeing the fucking interviewers, especially on WWE nowadays, where they just literally, you can put anybody there. This is their job to hold a microphone.
Yeah, and obviously you could hear that Scott Hall over the 3 years dropped a lot of the way the cadence of the Razor Ramon. Obviously, that was a cease and desist by Vince that made him stop doing that. So he just became Scott Hall. He talked like him. Never let the hair go, though. He always had the curl coming down, the wet hair slicked back. So, but over those years, he did kind of just lose the whole Razor Ramon speech and everything and just became Scott Hall and started talking just like himself, the Scott Hall we all knew later in life. So, all right. Now, WWE did do a good tribute, and also on NXT, there was a bunch of little tributes going on, NWO shirts. They were all doing the old, the Scott Hall point, and a lot of things on that show, which was pretty cool. They even spray painted one of the two of the girls. I forgot who it was, but on Raw, they did some tributes, and they had some obviously a bunch of the wrestlers saying some stuff about Scott Hall. And about 2 minutes, someone put them all together, and we're going to play them. Here we go.
The WWE superstars wanted to do some tributes throughout the entire episode, and they went on and did just that. There were a magnitude of superstars that went out of their way to show some love to one of the most beloved
I didn't hear this
wrestlers
either. Hold on.
and people in not just our generation, but in the past generation. Skull Hall, they're here from Skull. And also, a lot of people are asking for him.
Okay, I thought he actually put them together. I should watch these.
Your voice sounded a little different there. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Excuse me. I had a mouse in my throat. But anyway, I do have the actual tribute WWE did, and we can go ahead and play that real quick. That's about 3 minutes, but it's probably a pretty damn good way to say goodbye. And I do have one more last thing that we're gonna play, and then we'll go ahead and I guess move on with the Scott Hall stuff. So here we go.
The WWE family is saddened by the passing of Scott Hall, the man who proved it's good to be the bad guy.
Say hello to Razor Ramon.
Scott Hall made an instant impact upon his WWE debut in 1992 as Razor Ramon.
I get the dynamite of everything he had.
Take a look at me. I living the good life, man. Good food, good drink, good chicas.
You just can't teach somebody to be cool. And Scott's always been cool.
Maybe I could clear the table, huh? Is that what you would like, man?
He's the guy that made it cool to be the bad guy.
Being the bad guy came with benefits. Razor would cement his legacy as one of WWE's greatest intercontinental champions with a thrilling victory in WWE's first ever ladder match at WrestleMania against Shawn Michaels.
I got gold around my neck and my most precious gold around my waist.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Upon leaving WWE in 1996, Scott Hall would make his way to WCW, where alongside Kevin Nash and the immortal Hulk Hogan, he would revolutionize sports entertainment with the NWO.
Going down there changed everything. Scott Hall was a pioneer.
We are taking over.
It just felt real. Felt you were getting something special.
Hey, yo, are you here to see the...
This was one of the best things that ever happened in business.
When you're NWO, you're NWO for life.
The WWE family will forever remember Scott Hall as a gifted entertainer and two-time WWE Hall of Famer.
Hey, yo.
A loving father and a dear friend.
Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
Probably one of the greatest endings to a Hall of Fame speech I can remember.
Oh, for sure.
That saying right there was fucking amazing. Hard work pays off. Dreams do come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. Like a beautiful haiku, which also rhymes with those last words. Just, I don't know, man. Like I said, it kind of just feels like a little chunk of my childhood. Good slice of my 20s are just kind of missing now at this point. And I don't know. I will definitely miss Scott Hall. And I don't know. I don't even know what else to say, man.
Yeah, I mean, we've spent a good probably about a half hour or so talking about it. There's still plenty of things that we could have talked about that, were omitted, and a lot of things that he's done, and just a lot of long-lasting legacy and impact he's left on a lot of people. Like, there was people were talking about, like, he let Chris Jericho beat him early on in his career in WCW, and that was like a big deal for Jericho at the time. He went over at post WWE when they had that run, after the NWO WWE run the first time. He went to Japan and he put over a young lion. It ended up being Hiroshi Tanahashi, who is their basically Japanese John Cena, not to be confused with Chinese John Cena, which is regular John Cena. But he put over a guy who was nobody at the time that ended up being like one of the biggest stars in Japanese wrestling history, and the impact that like led to, like, that it had on the rest of the wrestling world because of that. It's immeasurable. Who knows how big of an impact that he ended up making because of that.
Yeah, I mean, they listen. Hall definitely made an impact anywhere he went. He was just that kind of guy, and just amazing stuff by him throughout all the years. We got some characters, with Razor Ramon that we're never going to forget, and especially when it comes to the Outsiders and all the stuff he did. And he was the first of the three to come in, like we just played a little while ago. And boy, from the moment he walked in the door, he was just an intriguing. He just held your attention like you were in captivity. You couldn't help but listen to Scott Hall talk when he talked.
One of my favorite things is not even a promo as much as it is just the back in the day when they had the Thunder and the Nitro, but Thunder was the first one, the video game, where they had the choose me rants. Like, you would bring the mouse, or not the mouse, but you would like highlight the wrestler and you press the button and they give you reasons why you should pick them, but most of the time they told you not to pick them and threatened you. So it's like very counterproductive. I don't know who gave them the mission statement, but like wires got tangled somewhere. But his was one of the best ones. If you like, you could find it on YouTube. They have the whole compilation of all the videos, but his was obviously one of the better ones because he was obviously one of the better promos talkers.
Is that the one from Sega?
It was on PlayStation. It was also on N64, yeah.
Because I've got the Sega one right here on my phone.
Sega was in your house.
Well, this is for...
Unless it was like Sega CD, but...
Let me see, hold on. My dog just opened the door. Razor only teach you how to play WF Raw on. I just saw, that's all it says. I thought it was for Sega. Ah, fuck it.
No, the Raw was Raw. It was Raw and the In Your House, the arcade game.
Okay, let's see here.
You want to make a great wrestler even better? This is how you can change my attributes. For Super Nintendo, hit YAL. And for Sega, it's ACL. The bad guy recommends some of these moves to help you finish your opponents. When you are controlling an opponent in a lockup, you can really do some damage, man, with a fall-away slam. For Super Nintendo, hit A. For Sega, hit C. How about this one, Chico? When you're on the mat, pinning your opponent, to keep him pinned, for Super Nintendo, hit BAX. Or Y. For Sega, hit A, B, C, or BC. Yo, Chico, here's a secret tip from the bad guy. When you are pinned, to try and kick out, for Super Nintendo and Sega, just hit any key. For my signature move, the Razor's Edge, when your opponent is low on energy, lock up and press R for Super Nintendo and AB for Sega. And Chicos, the bad guy's mega move, the backflip elbow drop, oh man, nobody gets up from that one, Chico.
The guy is promoting fucking how to do buttons on a game, and I'm like, I can't stop watching. Amazing, man. So, I mean, R.I.P. to Scott Hall. I feel bad for his children, obviously, and his family. So, I don't know. Like I said, it was just something unexpected and just something I was really hoping once they took out the ventilator. There's been many, many times where people have started breathing on their own and survived, and I was pretty much hoping that would happen.
Right. I think we all were.
Yeah. Well, I saw people when, I mean, he wasn't even gone yet, and they're RIPing. I'm like, why does everyone have this fascination with having to be the first one to put RIP or be the first? What the fuck is wrong with people?
No, I mean, X-Pac tweeted about that too. He was like, I know it comes from a good place, but it's very sort of unnerving to know that he's still alive and to see all these RIPs. So it's like, just, wait a while, like he didn't say that part of it, but it's like, don't fucking, do not put the cart before the horse.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is it?
But some of that, I feel like some of that isn't even, it could just be attributed to misinformation. Or just, I don't think that sometimes some people were potentially trying to jump the gun, but I think for some people it's like the wires got tangled because, if you read on one place, he had already passed away. If you read on another place, he was still alive.
Right.
It became kind of weirdly muddled for a little while there. I think kind of give people the benefit of a doubt, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why I hate to say, but you wait for WWE to announce it, and that's when you know something's wrong.
Right.
So that's what we got. But I don't know. Do you have anything more on Hall?
Not really. It just, I mean, like I said, a long-lasting legacy. Like there's this sort of impact that he left on the '90s, and then like everything that happened because of that. Like you think about he had the ladder match with Shawn Michaels. You think about it, without that ladder match, he might not have gotten a TLC match. And like, because of the TLC match, how many wrestlers, tag teams, Young Bucks, and people like that did that inspire? And so it's a trickle down effect. Like the impact that he had on wrestling as a whole we're still seeing it.
Absolutely, man. And you're right. It's just kind of he thank God they had that, because look what we've gotten out of it. And yeah, man, like you said, a legacy, and we'll never forget it. It'll always be remembered. So there we go, man. Rest in peace to Scott Hall. So, and not that we have much better news to get into. Although there is some good news out of this. Big E did break his neck on Friday night. Luckily, it's not a break, it's a fracture. The C1 and C6 are fractured. He will not need surgery. And I don't know if you heard the video with him.
Yeah.
I have never heard a more positive. Did I pull it up? I think I've got it. Give me a second here. My screen's a little small right now, but I'm pretty sure I have that video. I had it. So let me see. I might have moved it over here. Hold on a second. Aha. I know where it is, and I can play it off my phone. Give me a second here, Smart. But I've just never heard someone so positive after a broken neck. And the man is just like all happy and chipper and cheery, and I'm just like, dude, I'd be so pissed off. I don't know why, but I would be.
Now, to be clear, there may or may not have been painkillers involved. So,
well, I hope there was.
I would hope so too. For those who did not see, the poor man got dumped square on his head on the outside, landed directly on his neck.
Yeah. Now, this was also in a match with, I'm sure he was very thrown off by Pete's Dunne new name, Butch.
That's right, old Butch.
Yeah, and Riddick Moss picked him up for a belly-to-back suplex.
Ridge Holland.
Ridge Holland, I'm sorry, you're right. A belly-to-belly overhead suplex, and he just landed square on his head, and it looked bad, and you knew it was bad when they took him out on a stretcher, and he gave the thumbs up going out of the ring, being carried out on the stretcher. But that was good to see, but I mean, this was just a few hours later, and let's play this real quick. Here we go.
So I got some really good news, all things considered. The C1 and C6 are indeed fractured. Not displacement, though, which is a very good thing. And I don't have any damage to my spinal cord, no ligament damage, and no surgery, which I'm very thankful for. And a pro tip, if you're going to break your neck, do it in Birmingham. They've been great. Everyone here at UAB has been great.
Okay, just let me... This man is literally getting news like this, and he takes the time to put over the hospital. What kind of Paul Heyman school of fucking promos is he going to?
I'm saying.
This man puts over the fucking staff at the hospital. This is how you do it. Let's continue.
It's meant a ton to me that so many of you have been so kind and reached out, stopped in to see me, texted me. I feel like I sound like a broken record, but I am very grateful. And I'm going to be all right. It's a blessing.
All right. So there you go. This was not long after getting this news. He's in the whole neck brace thing. He's even taking pictures with the neck brace on. He is. When this guy comes back, he's going to be the biggest babyface this company's ever fucking seen since Roman Reigns came back.
Hopefully.
They may not have a choice but to put title back on him for a little while. And I have zero issues with that. I have been a big proponent of Big E putting the title on him. And it seems like now is, or not now, but right before this happened, they were just starting to use him on, because he was starting to do television and do this and do that. So it's like, well, why didn't you do that when he had fucking gold around his fucking waist? What the fuck?
Right.
But meanwhile, luckily no surgery will be needed. That's a very good thing. But he is going to be out for a good while. I mean, this really could have gone bad. I mean, this could have gone Tyson Kidd bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, really, the only other ways that it could have gone is he could have been paralyzed or it could have killed him. So it's like he had the best of the three outcomes. He had the best possible one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Going to be they're expecting a full recovery. That doesn't mean that he will. I see a lot of websites putting out that his career is in danger. Well, after any injury, your career is technically in danger.
Right.
Something could happen. Something could happen any time during that. But I don't know, man. I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he doesn't need surgery. And again, that could change too. It could get worse. That's what happens with discs in the back. They can degenerate. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm hoping to see Big E back in the ring sooner rather than later. But I'm saying, I mean, let's face it, he's definitely out of Mania. Let's see, It's March. I think if we saw him by Christmas, we're lucky.
Yeah, I was just say presumably the rest of this year.
Yeah, I'm thinking the holidays, possibly not till next year. Yeah, January, February next year. So I don't know, but I'm glad he's in good spirits. I don't know if I would be even close to as upbeat as he is, Mark.
I mean, I think, like you said, when you consider the alternative, it might have just been kind of relief more than just happiness. It's just, well, it could have gone far worse. Not happy that it happened, but, of the possible outcomes.
Well, he's also been a guy that said that whole power to positivity thing wasn't much of a gimmick. He believes in that. So, he's being as positive as he can, and that's the only thing he can do. So, but it really was amazing to see the outpour, just everybody, just the outpour of love for this man.
Right.
From not only wrestling fans. I think this is the one time wrestling fans weren't being scumbags. I'm sure there were a few, but I didn't pay attention to those or see them really. But it seems like you probably saw a few, but most.
Well, not really. I was just saying more the only real, only sort of negative aspect of it was there was people that were kind of going at Ridge Holland a little bit, but it's kind of to be expected, I guess. I mean, some people are being really aggressive, but I mean, he kind of was at fault a bit, and he has gotten injured because of a lack of technique before, so he kind of stuff starts to add up with that.
Well,
it's a physical thing. It could happen to anybody. It could happen, anybody could be on the receiving end. Anybody could be responsible for giving it. But there's been a couple of incidents with him now. So after a while, you start to get a track record. Like, for instance, like a D'Lo Brown situation where that was just a fluke thing. But then you have a Nia Jax situation where you have a long track record of things.
Yeah, and to kind of go on the heels of that right there, Wade Keller of PW Torch said that there isn't really any heat on Ridge Holland right now. He said, I will say I heard that Ridge Holland was very apologetic and sorry about what happened when he was backstage, handled himself well, doesn't appear to be any heat on him. Reckless move or this was not a reckless move or anything that Big E wasn't ready for. Just seemed like accidents happen and it just went wrong. So that's what he said on PW Torch, the VIP audio show. So not much by the company, but yeah, I did see a lot of people shitting on Ridge Holland. Dude, shit happens. People, yes, sometimes it happens more, especially when a guy is a little young. I mean,
right.
Yeah. Joey Nembas of Wrestling Soup once, said something that kind of stuck with me once. He said, you take your own bumps. And that's what you're taught at wrestling school. You take your own bumps. Now, I'm not saying Big E did anything wrong here, but dude, this is fucking wrestling. You're throwing another person. And I don't know if you know this, but physics doesn't always work well when you're throwing another person in the air.
'Tis true.
One thing goes, Biggie could have held his back at the wrong, way. Rich Holland could have done one thing wrong. Who knows? It's just the way it goes. This ain't ballet, they say, Smart.
Mm-hmm.
That is what they say, whoever they are. So, not much heat from the backstage on Ridge Holland. I did see reports that he went and saw Biggie in the hospital. Drew McIntyre also did. Biggie thanked him, said, don't stop being who you are. So, good stuff there. But, like I said, I've been very high on Big E, especially him being champion. I think he is, I've said this many times, the guy checks every box for what I want to see in a champion.
For sure.
And I thought the run they had with him was pretty lackluster, and he even agreed with that. We talked about that. So let's just hope he gets better. Let's hope he comes back, and let's hope they can really find a really good spot to leave him in, because I hope they're paying attention to the love that came out for this man from wrestling fans and the superstars and AEW from everywhere. There was just it was just an outpour of love, and it was great to see. Here you go.
There it is.
Here it is. Get well, Big E. Get well, Big E. And let's see here. Smark, you got some here. Why don't you... I've honestly only got a couple more things. I really didn't have much. I mean, really, we know who took up most of the news this week. It was, Scott Hall and Big E. So, but luckily you bailed me out because I didn't have time to do this today. I've got one little thing, but you've got a few news stories. So let's get into yours, brother.
Well, I think we need a little bit of a tonal shift, and I have just the right thing for you. I would like to ask you a question, and I'd like to ask everyone in the chat room a question. Would you like to perform free manual labor for the WWE? Well, now is your big chance, because they put out a statement here. The WrestleMania Superstore access, they need your help. Volunteers needed for WrestleMania Superstore access. The most stupendous WrestleMania, that's their press release. The most stupendous WrestleMania week in history is coming to Dallas. An unprecedented Superstore access will descend onto Kay Bailey Hutchison Convention Center from Thursday, March 31st to Monday, April 4th. Superstar access will include the largest assortment of WWE merchandise ever, photos opportunities with WWE and WrestleMania memorabilia, not people, mind you, an immersive experience through Undertaker's graveyard, and more. Join us in providing a one-of-a-kind experience for the WWE Universe in Dallas. Volunteers must be 18 years of age or older. Positions include greeter, assisting with photo ops, prop handling. Volunteers receive, get ready for this, WrestleMania Superstore Access t-shirt, WrestleMania hat, and an entry into a raffle for Monday Night Raw tickets. Not tickets themselves, mind you, but an entry into a raffle to potentially, maybe, kind of, sort of win tickets.
Now,
perhaps.
You'd probably get to meet some of the wrestlers doing this, I'm sure.
Well, the thing is that they canceled the actual access event, so this is literally just a retail store.
Oh, you're right. Now I'm reading it. You're right.
You get a hat. That's what you get. You get the shirt, you get the hat, you get the raffle entry.
So this is the 31st, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd. This is 5 days of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's volunteered.
Yep. Which, I mean, basically, it's just like people coming in and taking pictures with, like, props. But
I mean, I don't get like a handy from Liv Morgan or anything.
I mean, if you could leverage that off of doing this volunteer work, you need to be an agent, sir.
I know that was very sexist and gross, but I was just thinking of something I could possibly get out of this deal.
Yeah, you don't get any of that. You get no hand job from Liv Morgan. You don't get to smell Charlotte Flair. You don't get any of that.
I don't need to smell Charlotte Flair. I'm good with that.
Yeah, probably not the best smell.
Smells like wood shavings.
There you go.
I don't know why. Looks anyway.
that would actually be pretty great if that's one of the things they offered was like every volunteer gets a free photo opportunity where Sasha Banks looks disgusted to be in a photo with you. To keep with tradition, because I feel like anybody who's going to volunteer for this is the type of person that would bother Sasha Banks at 2 in the morning at an airport and be on the receiving end of a scowling photo.
Even her disgusted look, she's gorgeous. I'd be fine with that.
Oh yes, for sure.
There you go, Dirk. Maybe a Gigi Dolan Copperfield. I'd be fine with that. Maybe just a little even just a little smack on the ass. I'd be okay with 2 taps on the butt.
Yeah.
That is a wonderful looking posterior she has.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been taking many pictures lately. I don't know if anyone's been following Gigi Dolan's pictures, but they're great. They're great. Just want to leave that there because I think I hear my wife out there.
That's quite the statement by SVC in the chat here. I wouldn't, keyword wouldn't, I wouldn't like to smell piss off Carmella Miss Golden showers.
I wouldn't either.
That would be a weird access opportunity.
That's a different kind of access. That's all I'm saying. Got Corey Graves charging money. Just feeding her water.
Sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Just giving her water all day. Drink this liquid IV. It's hydration. Drink it, drink it, drink it.
And if you believe what they say, that's also sort of a Bella Twins thing, according to old Tony Atlas.
Speaking of the Bella Twins, I have a question for you, Smart.
Yes?
What in the living fuck is Nikki Bella doing on America's Got Talent? Just listen to the last word.
The same thing Katy Perry's doing on American Idol. It's actually morons.
At least Katy Perry is. They both have nice boobs. What do you want me to do?
Yeah,
okay. I was watching on Facebook some video and I'm like, that sounds like Nikki. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Nikki Bella. What is she doing on a talent show? The fuck is she doing on a talent show? Really?
They're getting desperate for people, aren't they?
Dirk's
I mean,
she's a judge, Dirk. Not a guest judge, a judge, Dirk. Yes.
Oh, man, that would have been great if she was a contestant. Like, I'm here to juggle. My name is Nikki Bella.
I'm about to spin around and shake my booty, so get ready. Okay. All right, here we go. Where's my man? Hi, man. Hi. Booty shake. Twist, twirl, booty shake. Look. Okay, where's my $1 million?
There you go.
Okay.
You just cut to fucking Johnny Ace at the table, just slow clapping.
Way to go, girl. Good job. What do you think, Mama Bella? Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm surprised that they haven't had some kind of fucking WWE related talent show.
Please, let's not even do this. What is the basis of her judging? Look, I've only seen one little clip with her in it, so I can't really get into this. I don't want to judge too much. See what I did there?
Nah.
I don't want to judge. But I've only seen one little clip. But I just sat there, and the first thing that came in that hit my mind was, what the fuck? Nikki Bella is judging talent?
I'm just kind of surprised that we're not over this as a show anyway. Like, how many fucking... It's like season 800 of American Idol. It's like season 200 of America's Got Talent. These things just don't go away.
No.
I think this is just super cheap and easy to make.
And by the way, there's a thing going around online right now that I've seen more than once of a bunch of people being released from WWE, a list of people.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Don't buy it until you see it from WWE, everybody. Never, always, the second you see that, go right to WWE's website. It'll be up there. Don't believe the hype.
As Flavor Flav would instruct you to do.
Absolutely. Don't believe the hype, everybody. But anyway, man, if I was out of a job, I hate to tell you, I would probably do this. If I was out of a job, I'd probably do this.
America's Got Talent or this volunteer work?
The volunteer work.
Well, that's the thing is you're not getting paid for this.
I don't really have a talent. I'm just saying, if I was out of a job, I would go do this. Oh, I'd find a way to make some money around this motherfucker.
I see. I think I would do it not for anything that's listed here because I really free Raw ticket seems like more of a punishment than like an opportunity, a prize. But like, imagine the people watching Opportunity, like all the people that you get to like take photos of, and like just make fun of. Like that. This is the amazing. Like the odor in this store is probably going to be pretty fucking terrible, but. Outside of that, just being able to make fun of the people that come in, that is fun in and of itself.
I mean, you get a hat and a shirt.
You do get a hat and a shirt, which I pray for their benefit that they're smart enough to give after work is completed. Because, like, what's to stop you from taking the hat and the shirt and just fucking off? They're not going to pay you, so like, who cares if they fire you?
True, but I mean, I'm sure they give you that at the end.
Yeah, I would hope.
It's like the last day, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we got your shirt, got your hat."
Which, like, okay, and I understand that they're not the only people that do this, because everybody that wants to defend them are like, well, music festivals and sporting events have you do all this stuff too. But, like, the idea that they're a $1 billion company and they're asking for free labor is pretty fucking laughable.
I mean, listen, like I said, if you do get to meet someone, I mean, maybe one of them will, you're nice, you're a good person, you're a good worker. You never know. I mean, this could be a foot in the door for something bigger. Who knows? This is how good things can start. Positive.
You got the ambition behind you. I like it. But
positive, Smart. You got to power the positivity, buddy.
And okay, but here's the thing too that I thought of while I was watching AEW, and I already sent you this link. Was okay, I know it's the Raw after WrestleMania, presumably. They don't mention that here. Like, this could be Raw for any time, in any place. but presumably, they're talking about the Raw after WrestleMania. And so I understand it's a little bit different than your average Raw, but how many times have we talked about seat fillers? Like, they don't, there are people that they do not pay, that they just bring in off the street to put in seats. You couldn't just like have the spots that you give to seat fillers. You couldn't just give them to the people who are working like 8-hour shifts at your retail store.
I mean, I guess, but I don't know.
Because they say raffle for free for tickets, and it's like they don't say how many like tickets you're gonna get. Presumably, it's 2. And like, how many people are they looking for versus how many tickets are they giving out? Like, there's going to be so many people that do this, and all they get is a fucking hat and a T-shirt that, at best, they're going to be able to hawk on eBay, hopefully for a decent amount of money.
Well, oh shit! Oh, scared the shit out of me. I'm sorry.
Speaking of having the shit scared out of you, I had the window open earlier today, and like I was dozing off, my window's facing the street. Some car drove by, backfired. I didn't realize that because I was asleep. It sounded like a gunshot and scared the ever-loving shit out of me.
Yeah, mine isn't even that scary. I have magnets on my koozie because I hang it on my fridge. And it came with magnets. I also have a metal tin here that I put my stuff in.
Of course.
And I let go of the can, and it went flying, and it stuck to the tin. Okay.
Huh.
See, I'm moving the tin on the table. So it's just scared me because I didn't realize I was that close. I'll have to move the tin on the floor so that doesn't happen again and scare me like a little baby.
I can't say anything because there's an episode of the show where you yelled at me multiple times because I was playing with magnets like directly like inches away from the microphone. So I cannot say anything.
The bad thing is I knew what you were doing. I'm like, you're playing with magnets? Yes.
Yes. Will you stop? For a minute, yeah. Okay. I'm going to go back to playing with the magnets. It's just I can't help it.
My God, we should change the name of this show to ADD, guys. Oh, ADHD Mania.
That's it.
Anyway, if you want to be a greeter or assist with photo ops or prop handling, contact WWE.
Prop handling sounds way more suggestive than perhaps it was intended.
Well, I guess we should be happy Pat Patterson is gone. Anyway.
There you have it.
That was... Why did sometimes I don't think before I speak. I don't know if you realize that yet.
R.I.P. Too soon, I think, but whatever.
Quick joke.
It's a touchy subject, man.
Well, let's move along, Smart. Why don't you pick another one, my man?
I'm gonna do it now because it makes me laugh because of the segue.
I know.
Jay Briscoe apologizes again for homophobic tweets in 2013. Oh god, I'm glad I had this story in the back pocket. All right, Jay Briscoe again apologized for past homophobic tweets that has reportedly prevented he and Brother Mark from being hired in either WWE or AEW. Fightful first had the transcription of the interview from Battlegrounds. You're bragging that you had the transcription of a podcast that you didn't conduct. Cheers. But the episode was temporarily taken down and returned on Thursday afternoon. Fightful reported last week that a, quote, person of influence within Warner Media didn't want the reigning Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions signed to AEW because of Jay's 2013 tweets. When asked about the report, Jay didn't specifically address whether AEW had shown interest, but again apologized for his actions in 2013, saying that he thought he, quote, was taking a stand for the Lord back in the day. Quote, I put out a stupid tweet 9 years ago, the most dumbest, immature, obnoxious shit I have ever done. I don't want anybody from any walk of life to feel like they can't care for the Briscoes because I promise we love everybody. We love everybody and we just want to go out there and be pro wrestlers and give the best match that we can, he said. Quote, I said some dumb shit a long time ago. I apologize for it and I'll apologize for it again. It was stupid. I feel like now there are people who look at us like, quote, we can't cheer for them because they hate a certain group of people. We don't hate nobody. Double negative. We love everybody. We're just some country boys, he continued. Mark then said the comments were immaturity or from immaturity and that they were counterproductive to what God wants, which is to be a human being and relate to others with love. Jay then said, quote, we're not like that when it comes to fans labeling them a certain way. The two have remained busy since Ring of Honor closed operations at the end of December, working for GCW, House of Glory, Warrior Wrestling, and other indies. Now that AEW head Tony Khan purchased Ring of Honor, the two await their fate and whatever Khan has planned for his new asset.
Okay. All right. You're right. This has been... I remember this tweet. I remember we talked about this. It was something about... I don't have it in front of me, but it was something about... And to be honest, we're obviously still hearing me, right?
Mm-hmm. I can still hear you.
My internet is saying that I don't have internet. Very odd. But anyway, we've been getting a weird DNS server thing going on our computer the past few days. I was hoping this show was going to work, so it does. The tweet was something like, I believe in his state of Delaware. I'm trying to remember this tweet. It was something about his state of Delaware had just legalized same-sex marriage. And he said, if you're with that, congratulations. But if you teach my son about that, I'll effing shoot you, or something like that. That sound familiar?
Yeah, along those lines, yeah.
Along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. I see where he's coming from. I get it. Not the smartest thing to put online, obviously, especially with the shooting part. That's definitely not a good thing to put online. The fact that he's still apologizing is pretty sad. But I guess I see what they're doing. They want to work. They want to be on TV. They want to go out there and show what they can do. And I've said before, those guys are money to whoever has the fucking balls to go ahead and just pick them up.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I mean, it was 2013. People grow. People get older. People learn new things. Shit, things happen. People meet people. It's just kind of people get older, they evolve, and everyone has said some dumb shit in their life, I guarantee it. Which is why you don't put anything on fucking social media, because everyone's going to say something dumb one time or another if you put everything on Facebook.
For sure.
So, I don't know. And yes, his tweet was very vulgar. I don't agree with it. Well, I don't agree with it, really. But it's just stupid, the fact that he has to still apologize for that. I mean, Kevin Hart was set, years ago, was set to do the Oscars, and he was thrown off for making a joke that he's made it was in his act. And he was not able to host the Oscars because of it. It was like 9 years ago. We've got to stop holding everybody to something, to the one stupid thing they've done. Name me something else that Jay Briscoe has done that's really, really bad besides one stupid tweet.
I think that speaks to the point of that, is that it's been 9 years and there hasn't been further incidents. He hasn't said anything else that's been of a questionable nature like that. And trust me, there are plenty of wrestlers who have and will continue to shoot themselves in the foot, even at the expense of potential career advancement. So it's not like he's just purposely not saying anything or not doing anything to avoid further self-sabotage, because if you're dumb enough to do it once, you're very likely dumb enough to do it again. So, I mean, who knows exactly? You don't know the guy. None of us know the guy personally, but benefit of a doubt that, it has been almost a decade now, and maybe he has grown and evolved as a person.
His kid has grown, is now 9 to 10 years older. He times have changed. People have different outlooks on a lot of things now. It's a little more progressive out there. And thank you to SBC for pulling up that tweet. The exact words were, and I had the first part right about the Delaware doing that, the same-sex thing. If that makes you happy, then congratulations. Try and teach my kids there's nothing wrong with that, and I'll fucking shoot you.
Nah.
I actually have more issue with the last part of it than I do the first part. I mean, I've got, the last part was actually kind of a little too violent for me.
Bit much, yeah.
A bit much, a little too violent. But at least we have a little accuracy there. Thank you, SBC, for that tweet. Appreciate you posting that for me. But that's really it. One stupid thing he's ever said. The only that's really it. He's never done anything else, and we're going to crucify this guy a decade later for one stupid thing. Listen, we even gave Mel Gibson another fucking chance. This guy trashed Jewish people and a lot of other shit sitting out there on camera. Mel Gibson still does a movie here and there.
Right.
He's still getting work. So, I mean...
And I mean, people are, I guess it's one thing if you can actually, see it and access it and all that versus hearsay and whatever. But I mean, Stone Cold, he did beat a woman. And I mean, I feel like beating a woman is worse than a homophobic remark. Neither are cool, but, one actually physically does harm someone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's many wrestlers have been charged with that. And
I mean, I think that's I'm trying not to fucking hold anything over anybody's head, but that's the thing is when you go down that road of morality and you stick so sternly to it, you really got to do a lot of research and you really have to work hard to establish a line of consistency, because after a while you're picking and choosing what's offensive and what isn't offensive and what's okay and how long. Anytime you start being a crusader for stuff like that, it's hard not to become a hypocrite, and that's always important to keep in mind.
Absolutely. And it keeps showing the fact that one little remark can ruin your whole career, which, let me give everyone some advice. When you want to post something on social media, read it before you hit send. And then before you hit send, read it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then stop and think and read it again. And then maybe hit send. Because maybe by the second or third time, you're going to realize, maybe I should keep this one to myself. Maybe I shouldn't hit send on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big social media guy at all. I'm kind of lucky for that. I don't really care to post. I post for the show, or I would not be on. I'm horrible about going on Twitter. I'm horrible about it. But I try to get on Twitter. I just don't care to put my life out there. My wife is completely different. She puts everything we do out there, and I'm like, I hate when you do that. But me, I just live my
I
life.
mean,
I do what I
that's
do.
a whole other story for another day about like how much of an impact that social media has had on everybody's life and how people are starting to live sort of like inauthentic experiences and just like looking at life and doing things in their day-to-day life that they're filtering through the lens of social media and that they're doing for photos and for social media posts. And it all becomes a very weird and very depressing thing to talk about.
Yeah, now they want to do like virtual restaurants and stuff and shit like that. Let's just keep people inside and posting more on fucking Facebook. Great fucking idea. Anyway, I think someone needs to go ahead and just have the balls, get these guys under a fucking contract, and I think someone can make a lot of money off of them. I think if this is something that keeps being asked about, I think you just need to keep fucking swatting it back. It was fucking 10 years ago. He's older. His kids are older. This world is older. Everyone thinks a little differently now than they did 10 years ago. I mean, let's be honest here. I might get even in trouble for even saying this, but 15 years ago, we used to just throw around the word fag like it was just a funny, joking word. Now it's very offensive.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, things evolve, things grow, people grow. People don't use that word anymore. You hear it now and you're like, oh, I haven't heard that word in years.
Sure.
You know, and before it was just something people said just to, you know, for a while it was kind of just a joking thing. You would be with your friends and you would just use the word, you know, and it was no big deal. Now it's very offensive. You know who's not offended by gay people? But my uncle uses the word all the time.
I was gonna say, like, if I were gay, I would use that word just all the time. Like, I would use it as an adjective, like on purpose. Just
He
to,
does.
Like,
he does. He'll be sitting there.
That's so fucking gay. Like, hey, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and
Oh no, my uncle will throw the fag word around. He will, and my uncle is very, very gay. But he'll do it. He'll be talking about this guy, and he'll be like, "Oh, he's just the wrong kind of fag." Okay, It's like, Michael, what are you doing?
well, yeah. I mean, like RuPaul's got in trouble for shit like that before. And it's like it's RuPaul. Like if anybody gets a pass, it's fucking RuPaul. Like RuPaul's been out here on the front lines for fucking decades.
RuPaul has 2 passes. Let's be honest.
Yeah, yes.
Maybe more. I don't know. RuPaul's got a lot of passes.
There's a lot of leeway for RuPaul.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, we keep sliding further down this slippery slope of one thing can ruin your whole life forever.
Right.
I think we need to back off that. One, look, you want to give someone a little bit of, you want to, all right, you get fired from a company, you should be able to go to another one, pick up, apologize. This is the second or third time he's apologized for this tweet.
Sure. And I mean, like, that's the point, is it for sure cost both of them the WWE contract.
Oh, yeah.
So like, he's already been punished. And at what point, if you actually care about people learning from their mistakes and actual rehabilitation, you can't punish somebody for the rest of their life multiple times for one offense. Like, that's not how rehabilitation works. At some point, you got to give them an opportunity to prove that they've learned something and they've bettered themselves. And if you keep keeping them out of, the big companies because of that, then that's not what you're doing. You're just being fucking, it's a witch hunt. It's an angry mob, however you want to look at it.
Yeah. Now I see SBC is saying he likes apple, pizza, and lime. I hope not together. That's just
pie.
Gross.
He says he likes pie.
I mean,
so apple pie, pizza pie. He's being kind of creative with that one. It's a little abstract there. And lime pie. So presumably a key lime pie.
My wife made a fucking lemon icing pie the other day that almost fucking knocked me over. It was so good.
You ever have Kool-Aid pie?
No, that sounds different.
Yeah, you put the sugar packets in as part of the filling. It's really nice. There's recipes online. I'm not going to go into the minutia of it all, but it's good stuff.
Oh man, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not big into the sweet. I mean, I'd have like a tiny slice. My kids would eat the rest, but I don't know, man. I'm going to need something to cook for my. I'm here. I completely forgot. I'm here with my daughter this weekend alone.
Nah.
So, I do have an idea for a show, and I'll talk about it at the end, though, which would give me possible time to, even if something happened, I'd be able to jump up. I'll mention it at the end of the show. I'll see what some reactions are here. Anyway, I kind of filibustered that little Jay Briscoe thing, Mark. We have any? What do you got? Any more on that, or should we move on?
I think it's been long enough. I mean, he hasn't fucked up again. Give the guy a chance.
That's what I say, man. We used to be, it's funny, like, they push compassion, they push this, but you don't get second chances.
Right.
That's compassion. That's empathy. That's giving people a second chance, realizing people can change. Because people can. Many people can. Some things don't change. I believe pedophiles can't change, but that's neither here nor there. But I believe people can definitely change. I think people can change their attitude towards a lot of things. And like I said, his kid is older. Times have grown. It's 10 years later now. We're in a completely different... Jesus Christ, you've been through 2 presidents already.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, someone hire these fucking guys because their promos and their in-ring work is worth it. It is money. Nut up and hire these fucking guys. I don't think you will be embarrassed. I don't think they're gonna make a fool of you. I think they will. I think they'll make you a lot of money, including merch.
Right. I mean, and more so than anything, I feel bad for Mark because Mark hasn't said shit. Like, no. I mean, who knows whether or not he agreed with that statement or not, but like he said nothing. There's been no negative tweets, no negative interviews. He has done nothing other than just be an adorable redneck, which is what he does best.
Yeah,
He's fucking cutting promos, eating ice cream sandwiches, and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I'm more surprised. People are surprised that this redneck dude has had these beliefs back in 2013. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway. And you know what? I don't even think he got in trouble for this in 2013. I think it was like a couple years down the road he got in trouble for this for. It was like another unearthed tweet.
Yeah, I don't recall the exact timeline of that, but I do remember that they were in talks with WWE and that had a negative impact on that.
I mean, that I get. Right at the moment, I get it. I get at the moment. You got to react because that's the fucking world we live in now. There's nothing you can do about that. But, 10 years down, I mean, Jesus Christ, Hogan's been on television.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's it's a whole thing, too.
Hogan's been on television since then. I mean, come on, people. Jesus Christ.
Ric Flair will definitely be back on television in the next year or two. Hopefully not before the Briscoes come back on TV. But you had a guy who may or may not have fucking sexually assaulted someone. That's okay. But one tweet from 10 years ago, not okay.
Yeah. And again, I'm gonna say it one more time. Just don't. Everybody, fuck social media. Go on, scroll, take a look, comment every now and then. Stop posting your whole life.
Also, by the by, be careful with what you like too, because I've seen. It's funny. The last Twitter account I had, because I deleted that one, but so the Twitter account I had before the one I have now, it showed me almost every one of the likes that my friends had that were just of basically jerk off material. And it was I know a little bit too much about what certain people from my inner circle enjoy now, which God bless you. Enjoy whatever it is that you like, but it tells everyone what you like.
Like the girls that are want sex? Meet me. DM me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you. I have to every now and then check my son's Twitter for that and his Instagram.
Oh, Instagram's the worst. So many people have gotten in trouble.
Well,
I mean, I'm not going to lie. That's exactly what I use Instagram for. So I will not fault anyone. But
the FWO account is on Instagram. So just imagine what's on there.
Yeah.
The Fap World Order. Check it out on Instagram. FWO 2019. Or 2019 FWO, actually.
Which is ironic because that's pretty much the sole purpose of Instagram. Yet you can get away with a lot more on Twitter in terms of what they allow you to show.
Yeah, Twitter. I mean, I've seen some. You can basically post porn on Twitter.
Yeah, you literally can. Like that, just straight up boobs and butts and some schlongs.
But if you tell someone not to wear a mask, you're banned.
It's a weird world.
You can literally be fingering your asshole on Twitter. But if you say to someone that they don't need the vaccine, you're fucked. You're banned. That's it.
Shout out to Ricochet. We love you, Intercontinental Champion.
Ricochet's in for a pretty good push from what I'm reading. Push it good. Push it. Push it good.
Push it real good.
Now I got that fucking Takis commercial in my fucking brain.
See, I was thinking of Salt and Pepper.
Yeah, it's a Takis. Now, see, I've been watching Tubi, and it's a Takis commercial on Tubi.
Oh man, the best commercial is for that life insurance company, where they straight up tell you that if you try to have your life insurance policy while they're murdered, it voids the benefits.
Yeah, that makes some sense. That makes sense.
I wish I could remember the name of the company, but that's the ad that I get on Tubi, so I don't know. I haven't actually seen any Takis commercials on TV. I watch horror movies, so like a lot of it, I guess commercials are about like don't kill people, which is public service that we can all get behind.
I think so. All right. Dude, I've only got one little thing, so keep rolling, my man.
All right, as I type in life insurance commercial into the YouTube, so I can post Mixer, because I will find that guy's darn thing. I always forget the name of the company. Oh, Ladder Life Insurance. It's absolutely the first result, because why wouldn't it be? I'm going to post that here in the Mixler, mixler.com/DirtySheetDudes, where you need to go. But anyways, I do have the story pulled up from F4W Online. AEW's William Regal opens up about past serious health issues, emergency heart surgery. The longtime WWE employee went into detail about his recent health issues. New AEW, they are so redundant with these things sometimes. New AEW roster member William Regal opened up on Chris Jericho's podcast regarding serious health issues he has had to deal with, including being told he had 24 hours to live in early 2019. No spoilers as to how that turned out. The 53-year-old was a guest on Talk is Jericho and spoke about having open heart surgery, sepsis in his leg, and other health-related challenges. Quote, I was in the hospital for 8 weeks. I was given at one point 24 hours to live. I had sepsis in my leg. They were going to cut my leg off. This is January 4th, 2019, he said. Since 1998, I had pericarditis. Pericarditis is a phrase that I cannot say properly, and it's also an inflammation of the sac around your heart. And what it does is scar that sac. So your heart can beat, but that sac can sort of lock down, he said. Regal detailed a serious neck injury he believes he suffered in 1993 during a match with Ricky Steamboat. The injury went untreated for many years, and it eventually required multiple surgeries, including one to fuse 4 discs in his neck together. With his wrestling career over, he wasn't training as much, which led to further heart issues. Quote, because I stopped wrestling and because I had slowed down, the sac around my heart locked down, basically the scarring locked down, and it started to calcify inwards. Slowly, I was having more and more things, such as my heart going out of rhythm and my legs swelling up, and it was just building up. I was going from doctor to doctor and getting all of these different things, he said. Regal would eventually need further surgery on his neck after his wound opened up and began to leak spinal fluid. He then detailed further health problems he suffered after having had surgery to correct that issue. Quote, 2018 started, and the first few months I was having all this swelling in my legs. I go on a scouting trip to Costa Rica. I get off the plane. I'm feeling a bit dizzy, but not bad. And just so anybody knows, no drinking, no anything. This was all things with my heart, he explained. He said when he was at the airport, he fell forward down an escalator, shattering his left eye socket. I had 3 weeks of amnesia after that. I had no idea what happened. I was in the hospital for a week in Costa Rica, and I had shattered my eye socket. I had 3 weeks of amnesia and had lost 40% of vision in my left eye, he explained. He went through 6 weeks of treatment and was getting better, but his legs kept up swelling and he was having trouble walking. Then in November, he went in for more tests. Quote, they do a scan of my abdomen, and fortunately for me, there was a cardiologist in the room, and this lady saved my life. She went, hang on a minute. There's something above that doesn't look right. Since doctors weren't able to scan that area immediately, further scans were ordered a few days later. He later received a call from his cardiologist that the sac around his heart had completely calcified. He was told that if they don't operate to remove the calcified area, he had less than 6 months to live.
Oh.
Fortunately, WWE got me a doctor in Atlanta that did this for me. One of the few that can do this, he explained. Regal spent 8 weeks in the hospital after surgery. He insisted on going home for Christmas. However, he was experiencing intense pain on New Year's Day, and he fell out of bed. Regal's wife and son then got him in an ambulance. He was back to the hospital, where he later developed sepsis in his leg. Doctors called his wife and told her that if they didn't cut off his leg, he would only have 24 hours to live. This was on a Sunday, so it was not the usual doctors caring for him at the time. The wife of one of his usual doctors, herself a doctor, overheard what was happening and informed her husband. He then called into the hospital and stopped them from amputating his leg. Close fucking call there, huh? He called them and said, quote, inject him with this, this, and this. And somehow, because they weren't going to do it, and that work and save my leg, he said. 2 days before the NXT UK show from Blackpool, where Walter, or Gunther as he's known now, who is now, I actually ad-libbed that, but that is part of the article, debuted, I'm in the hospital and something in my brain just went click, and I thought I'm going to be okay. Within a very quick time, I was walking 3 miles a day, and within 2 months, I was doing 500 squats again. With true wrestler form, that is a sign that things are getting better, that they're able to do 500 squats.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Talk about a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, he basically had pretty much everything that could go wrong went wrong, and he just fucking soldiered through because he's a tough old bastard.
And sepsis, man. Sepsis is fucked because if you, either the antibiotics work or they don't, that shit could kill you. Many people die in the hospital from sepsis. Or get a limb amputated. Holy crap, dude. Like you said, close call. This guy almost lost a fucking leg. Holy shit, man.
Almost lost a leg, almost died, apparently multiple times.
Jesus Christ, man. I'm glad he's all right. 100% glad he's okay. I love Regal. I didn't know any of his health was ever this bad, to be honest with you.
Apparently there were rumors about, I guess, some of these problems, but nobody really knew for sure what was up. So he kind of cleared the air on that, I guess, was part of the reason that he did the podcast.
I did see that. I did see where he was kind of like, this was not recently. This was way back in 2014 and 13. So calm down, Meltzer.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, that's awful. I'm glad he lived through all this, and the guy looks great right now.
Yeah, he seems to be doing a lot better.
But when something calcifies, you do know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it literally scales over and gets hard. So, man, that could have been seriously dangerous. Now, this is starting to worry me because my heart goes out of rhythm all the time. I was telling you about that double pumping I get.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. It never hurts to get that kind of stuff looked at, I guess.
I did get it looked at. My doctor said, don't worry about it.
Well, there you go.
I said, well, that's what I do with everything else. I might as well keep it going. But I mean, it goes from like this, and that. Then he gets up, he falls out of bed. Then he falls down. Then he falls in an airport and shatters his eye socket. Oh my God, this poor guy. Thank the Lord we have William Regal still around right now.
Yep.
After reading this, thank God.
I mean, while all this is going on, he's still a somewhat regular on-air character on NXT. Like, he was absent for like a couple weeks at a time every so often, but like all this shit's going on, he's still finding the time to be on TV. I mean, God bless him, man.
Oh, I mean, that explains why he was missing every now and then, but holy hell, man. Glad this guy is okay. I'm glad we got him back. I'm glad he's on AEW, and he was fucking awesome tonight.
Mm-hmm. Imagine going through all of that and then getting fired. Fucking A, man. I mean, the benefit, I guess, is that according to him, they did pay for all of that shit that happened to him. So at least that's a benefit. That's a positive there. But
yeah, I guess. I guess if you're gonna find a positive in this story, WWE paid for it. That's it.
I mean, I can only imagine how expensive some of that shit had to have become.
Oh God, dude! And the part, his neck wound was leaking spinal fluid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that was like kind of glossed over. It was just, at one point I was leaking spinal fluid all over the place.
Yeah, it was like a little tiny paragraph, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, wait a minute here. Holy hell, man! Oh my God! Thank you, Lord, for keeping Lord William Regal around. Jesus Christ, that's fucking awful. Wow, I don't even know what to say, man. I'm just baffled by all this, but that's probably one to listen to right there. Is Regal on Talk is it was Talk is Jericho, right?
That's it.
It's probably one to listen to right there, guys. So, guess we'll see what happens on that. All right, Smart. Keep it going, my man.
All right. And this one's probably going to be pretty quick, so we'll breeze through this one. But Killer Kross is set to make his NJPW Strong debut. New Japan Strong at Lone Star Shootout on April 1st and has challenged Minoru Suzuki for the event. Kross's debut was announced on social media yesterday with a video showing Kross declaring his arrival in New Japan Pro Wrestling by attacking unnamed trainees in a gym. And Kross explained that he had earned his name with his accomplishments in and out of the ring, and then said that his new beginning starts in Dallas. He called out Suzuki by name and ended the video with his TikTok catchphrase. Not to be confused with his TikTok dance, which is entirely different.
Very, very, very different. Absolutely.
But yeah, they go on to say about him, being a former NXT champion, 2-time champion, got his release, and now he's going to be on the New Japan Strong show on the 1st, which is going to be part of the WrestleMania weekend series of events. There's all kinds of fucking really good independent wrestling that weekend, including the New Japan Strong show. So a lot to watch that week.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely going to be. Now, I do like this new look he has.
Yes, he has hair now.
I got to tell you, have you ever seen the Blade 3, Blade Trinity?
You talk about Triple H and Blade Trinity?
Yes.
I haven't actually seen the movie, but I've seen like trailers and stuff. I've been meaning to check it out. I want to watch the entire trilogy at some point because I've definitely seen the first one, but I don't think I've seen the second. I know I haven't seen the third.
He looks, the suit and everything, he looks a lot like I think the guy's name was Drake, the main big boss vampire, and he kind of has that look to him with the beads coming out, the shirt open, the suit. Kind of has that look to him. I don't know if he got any of his look from there, but that's exactly who he looks like here. But yeah, he does have some hair, and I like this new look. I think it's kind of playboyish, and if he's bringing Scarlett with him, that's the kind of look he should have, because Scarlett is a gorgeous girl, and that's kind of what he could be playing, is that kind of playboy character, a killer playboy.
You're right, by the way. Drake is listed here, played by Dominic Purcell. I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is in the movie as well. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Triple H, of course. All kinds of people are in this.
Patton Oswalt.
Is he now? How about that?
Yep. Not a fan.
Jessica Biel.
Very
Everybody's
hot.
a fan of Jessica Biel.
Gorgeous in that movie. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Apparently he said that he decided to go bald as a part of a character choice. It was just he felt it made him look like more sinister, I guess. So he's trying out maybe perhaps a little bit of a different character. It surprised me. I didn't know that he actually was capable of growing hair. I figured it was just one of those things that just well, I mean, he started going, I figured like a lot of people, you just start going bald at some point. You just decide to just, call it a game.
I mean, it's a great capability to have, is growing hair.
It is, yeah, the regenerative power of follicles.
So what talents do you have? Well, I can juggle, I can wrestle, and if you need me to, I can grow hair.
Yep. So look out for Killer Kross in America's Got Talent.
There you go.
Along with Nikki Bella, apparently.
Oh my God! Look at his hair grow. That is so awesome. Oh, anyway, that's like talent. That's like the most talent I've ever seen in anyone is watching their hair grow. It's so cool. Okay.
Fucking real time too.
I love how I did it in real time. It was like watching Benjamin Button. That movie felt like it was in real time too. Anyway.
Yeah, apparently he used to. He was like a security guard at a strip club. I know this sounds sort of a callback, but apparently he has talked about that. And like, man, he must have been doing well for himself at that point. I don't know what kind of money he was pulling in. He was working in Vegas, so probably a decent amount. But...
Oh, he was doing well. Vegas strip clubs, the bouncers are basically like the valets in Vegas.
I feel like he was having some fun, is all I'm going to say.
I would assume so.
Although he apparently doesn't drink or smoke. Well, I guess he said he used to smoke back then because, you get into confrontation with somebody, shit gets stressful.
Gotta have a smoke.
But, yeah, apparently not a drinker. Big comic book guy, but not a drinker.
All right. Well, good for him. And I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. And I guess that's down here. And it's at Dallas. That's pretty cool.
Yep, that's where WrestleMania is. All the WrestleMania events are going to be in that general area too. So,
yeah, I won't be at Mania, but anybody wants to come and wants to hang out, man, I'll do it. I got a job this time.
It won't be this year, but I've always wanted to go just for the events around WrestleMania.
Yeah,
like just straight up go for the Thursday because they start like Thursday or even Wednesday maybe at this point. But you just go, you see all the independent shows that you care to see, then you just piece the fuck out. Because I'm not paying like fucking $300, $400 for WrestleMania tickets. It's not happening.
No, I'm not doing that either. But anyone's coming down from Mania, wants to chill, have a beer, give me a call. I'll fucking do it. Message me. Y'all know how to get a hold of me.
There you go.
There it is. Smart, you got one more. This is something we had talked about. I would say a couple months ago we talked about this, and I wasn't sure if we were ever going to hear anything again on this little story here. I thought it would kind of go away quietly, but go for it, my man.
A couple months ago, indeed. I am reading this for a specific quote, and you'll know when we get there. But this was, they filed in January, because this is MLW filed suit against WWE in January, alleging they put pressure on third parties to abandon relationships with them. The suit specifically mentions a deal with Fox-owned streaming service Tubi, like saying that, as MLW's lawsuit says a deal with them fell apart after WWE interfered. Quote, MLW's claim for intentional interference with prospective economic advantages fails because MLW does not allege that WWE knew about MLW's negotiations to sell a third-party first-run programming, which is a word salad, but that is exactly how it is written.
It is.
WWE's motion to dismiss reads... then we got a tweet here, but we're going to skip that. The lawsuit also claims that in early 2021, a WWE executive contacted Vice and put pressure on them to stop working with MLW. Vice TV did air one MLW special on October 7th, featuring Alexander Hammerstone defeating Jacob Fatu to win the MLW World Heavyweight Championship. Quote, WWE has been wrongfully depriving its competitors of critical opportunities for many years, but its latest conduct has been even more unconscionable. MLW CEO Court Bauer says in the press release, quote, I think we speak for the rest of the professional wrestling world when we say this anti-competitive behavior has to stop. He pounded a desk. Now here's the quote. WWE lawyer Jerry McDevitt was quoted in the Wrestling Observer newsletter regarding the lawsuit. Quote, if Tubi breached, then sue Tubi. As to Vice, WWE has no commercial relationship with them, or for that matter, any of the other dozens of content distribution entities with whom MLW could do a deal with if they had a commercially viable product. Fucking dunked on by the lawyer. Wow. They put a show on Vice, if my memory serves me correctly, after one of the Dark Side shows and lost most of the audience. I think I read they got 40,000 viewers. No wonder Vice did no further deal. Fucking dunked on him. Like I was not rooting for WWE in this instance, but I do enjoy just Jerry McDevitt going in on them. Anyways, in a statement to PW Insider, MLW Court Bauer said, "Of course, WWE is scrambling to dismiss. They don't want this thing to go to court. I look forward to that opportunity."
Wow. And you know, I got to tell you, I thought about this after we talked about it that night.
Mm.
And the more I thought about it, the more I was thinking, there's one, I don't know, weak link in their in their suit. And it's what we're going to talk about in a little while. It's 3 letters. It's AEW. The fact that AEW is out there having success right now kind of proves that WWE is not the monopoly they say it is.
Right.
So if AEW kind of has them in a bad position right now, the fact that they're out there successful, competing with the ratings, even though they're not on the same nights, they still have people still think it's some sort of competition, which is why we haven't mentioned ratings on this show forever. It's not worth it anymore. They're not on the same night anymore. Who cares? But I get that's pretty funny. My favorite line is, "If Tubi breached, then sue Tubi." Fuck you.
That is also a competitor. It's like, well, that's not our fault. But that is what I enjoyed about this. I wasn't even going to send this out until we got to that point of it, because it was just a matter of, like, I know the lawsuits aren't necessarily the most titillating thing to hear about, but just fucking Jerry McDevitt saying, "Don't blame us because your product sucks," is fucking hilarious to me. Like I said, I don't tend to root for them, and they have definitely done some underhanded shit.
Right.
Debatable whether or not it's illegal. Like, I guess we're going to find out shortly, but I remember them trying to put a block on other, independent companies doing the WrestleMania weekend shows. I remember that. I remember, we've talked about them trying to make every fucking country have their own NXT and just kind of sort of kill the wrestling scene in, like, Mexico and Japan and England and shit like that. Like, they have definitely done some scuzzy shit, but debatable as to whether or not it's actually illegal. In a lot of cases, it's not. It's just dick moves.
Yeah, and when we've heard them, we've heard that they tried to get someone, who was it that was going to do Madison Square Garden, and basically WWE squashed it. I think it was ROH.
I believe so. I mean, they did eventually end up doing shows, but
right.
I don't remember exactly what. I remember they fucked with Ring of Honor quite a bit.
Yeah. Now, and if we go to if Tubi breached, then sue Tubi. I see that's a very lawyery statement, because yes, Tubi may have breached, but what's the reason they breached? If the reason they breached is because WWE did, that's not allowed, dude. You can't do that, especially if they've got a contract. I don't give a fuck. And for the Vice thing, if they had a contract, and if they got 40,000 on the first run, and it wasn't like, okay, well, you have to get this many on your first run, or we're not going to run anymore. It doesn't matter if you got 40,000 on your first run. You should still be able to get more runs if your contract was that you would. So there's so many back and forths to this. I wish I had, like, every piece of information, which we don't.
Right.
MLW needs to, against this attorney, this is a slick fish, everybody. If they don't have actual proof and someone to walk up there at least and on a fucking affidavit and say, WWE called me and told me that I can't do this, or they're going to do this, they've got nothing.
Right.
They've got to have solid fucking proof, especially against, like I said, this slick fish, Jerry McDevitt.
Yeah, it's not his first rodeo by any means. That man is a shark.
This isn't his first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. This is not even close to a new deal for him. This is fucking business as usual. And listen, these defense attorneys are fucking hardcore. Listen, my uncle, remember, is a famous defense attorney in Boston. I know how these guys operate and how they are. But they better have solid, like I said, they better have someone to walk up there and be able to prove this if it makes it to court. I got a feeling this is not going to court. If it does go to court, if they don't have solid proof, it's going to get dismissed, and they are going to look like fools. I like that SBC brought up the old Flow Sports lawsuit, them fuckers that tried to fucking send me a cease and desist over Facebook Messenger. Not even paper, just the guy sent me words to cease and desist. Fuck you.
Stop it. Come on.
Basically,
stop it.
Can't use the hot tag anymore. Fuck you. I think we had like 175 shows at that point. It was like, yeah, no, I think we're going to. But yeah, this is either going to get dismissed if they don't have the fucking proof that I'm talking about. Dismissed, or literally they're going to look like fools in this, which I got a slight feeling in my gut that they're going to look pretty foolish on this lawsuit.
See, I would tend to agree if it wasn't just for, like, we've also talked about the lawyers that MLW has at their disposal. Because they also don't seem like idiots either, and I don't think that they would purposely jump on taking a frivolous... Well, okay, I should maybe word that better. I don't think that they would jump on a lawsuit that they didn't think they had any chance of winning. Frivolous is an entirely different matter.
Yeah, but then you got that one... I mean, but then again, you got the same lawyer... Not the same lawyer, but another lawyer out there that was trying to get all those guys thinking that they were going to get this class action suit on Vince for this fucking, all these concussions. And where did that go? Dismissed.
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying that they're going to win, but I am saying that, like, I feel like the amount of money that MLW has spent on lawyers, if they didn't feel like they had a solid case, they wouldn't go for it. And I also don't feel like the lawyers themselves would take the case if they didn't have a chance to win, which I know what you're saying is not unlike the other case that you're talking about, but I don't know. I would like to see this play out more, just for more potential quote opportunities like the ones that we just talked about and read.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say that a lawyer would want to rack up hours against an incredibly high-profile defendant like WWE. I would never accuse an attorney of doing something like that. But
fair enough.
But I would imply it.
There you go.
I may not accuse him of it, but I'll imply it. How's that?
There you have
it. So I don't know. I think the only two outcomes are either this just gets dismissed or they get made. And yeah, SBC once again throwing out some information here that some of the guys that were in that lawsuit were Vito, Big Vito, Demolition, which that might be why you're not going to see them in the Hall of Fame. Powers of Pain, Brian Adams, Animal. Were just a few of the guys in that lawsuit. But I mean, they didn't seem to really mind. Well, Animal got his stuff before he got in the lawsuit. But anyway,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Since you said Hall of Fame,
yeah,
bonus topic.
Yep,
Charmel.
Listen,
boy, if anybody ever deserved it.
Listen.
This is why I don't give a single solitary outside of just being like sad for the people that don't get the opportunity to go in while they're alive or like they get their speeches cut off. I personally couldn't take this Hall of Fame any less fucking unseriously than it is because of shit like this. Like it literally is just a numbers game.
Listen, this used to be in the intro of the old THT. It's a fake Hall of Fame for a fake sport.
Mm-hmm.
I see people losing their fucking minds over this. Stop it. Stop it. Let's be honest, they're running out of women. Listen, Sherry, Miss Elizabeth.
Yes
I
and no.
know.
I mean, it depends on whether or not they want to acknowledge that there's Japanese female wrestlers, which I know sounds like why would they? But also they did put Liger in the Hall of Fame, and he worked one match for them. So
I know, but I mean, you gotta. I mean, look how this company treated women for years, just as fucking eye candy and sex objects.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, I mean, let's...
WWE Hall of Famer Candice Michelle.
It's coming. Michelle McCool. It's coming.
We would like to congratulate Joy Giovanni for all of her contributions.
She's coming.
I hope so.
I hope so, too. Like right now. I hope so. At a girl. You go, girl. But
seconds after saying that they objectify women on their product, here we are.
Hey, I'm hoping she's getting some. How is that objectifying her at all?
Well, yes, we all wish nothing but the best for her.
I'm hoping she's getting some fucking hard and fucking long. All right.
There you go.
All right. Anyway,
Teddy Long.
We might have to name the show Hard and Long now. Anywho, yeah. So I mean, listen, I don't care who goes in anymore. Sharmell, fine. What did she really do? I'm not quite sure. I don't care. I really don't. It's not
one
a
of the
big
worst
deal.
matches in TNA history, which actually really is an accomplishment if you think about it.
Who was that again? It was her and
some fucking reality show lady. See, Sharmell versus TNA. We'll get there. Give me just a second.
I can see the match. I saw the match.
Shanna Maraska?
Shanna Maraska. That's it. That's it. Shanna Maraska. That's it. Oh my god!
It's on YouTube for anyone that would like to check it out.
No, don't bother checking that out. Don't even torture yourself like that. You don't need to do that to yourself. If you really want to, if you're a glutton for punishment, I understand. When you have 3 kids, you're a glutton for punishment too. I understand completely where you're going with that. Anyway, let's see. Oh, actually, let's see. Sasha Baron Corbin once again. Rumor by Bill. Yeah. Rumor by BB. He said take it with a grain of salt that Michelle McCool was supposed to go in this year, but declined. Why would they put her and Undertaker in the same year? That would be like, oh my God, would you get the fucking internet people out there trashing you for that one?
Mm-hmm. But just make it a whole. Yeah, actually, I feel like you just go in the opposite direction. You make it entirely Undertaker themed, because you put in fucking Undertaker, you put in Michelle McCool, you could fucking put Sarah was on TV for a minute. You put her in there to make things nice and awkward. You put fucking Brian Clark, the fake Undertaker, in there, and I don't know if there's any other Undertaker connections. They already put Kane in there, so you can't do that.
Right. And
put fucking Leslie Nielsen, if he's not in the Celebrity Hall of Fame wing, you put him in there.
Leslie Nielsen, I think he's dead, dude.
Well, he is dead, but you can still put him in the Hall of Fame. So is Vader. But I'm saying celebrity induction, because he was responsible. They did that when The Undertaker went missing and they had Undertaker versus Undertaker. They had a series of vignettes where Leslie Nielsen was searching for The Undertaker.
I remember that. I'm just saying, they don't usually do that with celebrities. They have celebrities there.
That is true.
So they can make speeches and get people in.
Yeah, maybe not the best idea, but I'm saying you need no Undertaker. Oh, well, okay, yeah, then you put fucking Pitbull in there, since him and Undertaker are big friends, apparently.
Oh, there you go. Fucking Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
They're friends, too. They're good friends.
Is Godfather in the Hall of Fame yet?
Scott Hall? Yeah.
Godfather. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, Godfather.
Yeah, 2016.
I think so. I was about to say, I remember the speech he gave about his wife and all that, how she's been with him through all this. And Yeah, Godfather's in.
Let's see.
As he should be. Just for doing fucking that fighting gimmick, I would put him in. That motherfucker dealt with some shit with that one. That was a horrible gimmick.
Yeah.
Big oversized gloves, look like a goddamn cartoon character. Anyway.
He had quite the journey because he was a witch doctor. He was an MMA fighter before everyone in wrestling had an MMA fighter gimmick. So he was ahead of his time on that one. And then he became a pimp.
And then
he became a pimp for real.
He was in Right to Censor.
Oh, yes.
You forgot a gimmick. He was in Right to Censor. I love The Godfather. Really did. Always liked him. I just thought I thought it was just hilarious. They just picked up, they actually got, a lot of times those women looked like they could have been on the street.
I mean, it becomes less of a whimsical gimmick when you think about the fact that he used his voodoo power to mind control them.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't
Those
think
poor
about
women.
that.
One of them was actually Victoria for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, Victoria. Lita was one
Mm-hmm.
at one point, which some people would say isn't surprising.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
There's many stories about Lita. I don't care. I like Lita. We'll just put it that way. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, Shermo going in. Listen, don't get upset. What are you gonna do? Once again,
I'm not upset at all. I think it's funny.
I just see people getting so upset. It's like, well, she didn't do it. Who did she put over? Oh, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Jesus
I mean, I feel like if you didn't
Christ.
take an actual bump, you have no real right to complain. And most of the people that take a bump know what the WWE Hall of Fame is anyway.
Yeah, this has no effect on me, my life, my care, nothing. I believe the kids would say 0 fucks given on this one.
Pretty much.
It's a controversy.
There you go.
No reason for controversy. WWE is going to put in who they want. There's no rhyme or reason why they do it. They just do it. So let's go ahead and I don't know. If you really, I mean, do you want to throw a fit or something? Do you?
I mean, you're going to get listeners of. I just for 20 minutes pretend to feel like this is an outrage. Now, I'm not saying that people do that. I would never accuse people of doing that. Fighting really hard not to say Salamon's right now. What happened? Huh? Did somebody say something? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, we got AEW to talk about.
I like Salamonster. How much is Salamonster? And you're right. We do have AEW to talk about, and we should probably get into that. My notes are very minimal for AEW. I'm not saying it was a bad show. I'm not going to say it was a fucking amazing show. It was a good show. Definitely good. The main event I have 0 issues with.
Oh, fuck. SBC did research here. Who did she put over? The Boogeyman at WrestleMania 22. She put him over.
Okay.
So there you go. That's the answer is who did she put over? She put over the Boogeyman.
Well, there you go. I have been proven wrong once again. And I don't care. If you guys, though, real quick before we get into AEW, if you guys do want to see more Danhausen, AEW is going to debut a new YouTube series, and Danhausen will be the feature of the first episode. That's right.
Yeah.
They are doing a show called Hey. No, I'm done. That was it.
I want every episode to start that way. That's like the title sequence of their show. It's just hey, and then a pregnant pause.
That's it. It's called Hey! Exclamation point. Or should I say, Hey!
Hey, what you got to say? Hollywood swinging.
I hope everyone's happy that I purposely moved back from the mic to scream that.
There you go.
What?
So they got a video series with old Danhausen.
He's on the first episode. It's basically
because if there was one thing that was lacking in AEW, it was vlogs and video series.
I more wanted to get into the name of the show the first episode of Hey! And for some reason they have parentheses EW. Ew.
Hey. So it's Hey EW.
Hey, ew.
Yeah.
For the second episode, Nikki Bella. Hey, ew. That's like talented. What did you do there? Anyway.
I would argue that this episode should just be called like Nikki Bella Appreciation Night.
No.
Fair enough. Motion adjourned. Next case.
I believe we haven't appreciated one thing of hers. I mean, I appreciated one thing that I see on her, but that's about it.
There you have it.
All right. On that note, I think we can go ahead and bring this bad boy out right here. Let me get my phone. I literally cannot pull up a website on my computer right now. It is saying that I have a DNS error. So.
Well, the first match was a 6-man tag.
I got my phone. I got my notes right here.
Good, because as far as my memory goes, I would have to actually look up a rundown.
The first match was a 6-man tag, and I mean, they got right into the first match. Like, bam, first match.
Mm-hmm.
It was the 6-man tag with Adam Cole. He had Red Dragon come out with him. It was Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Adam Page. And I thought it was a great match to start off with. I think you knew the kind of match you were going to get with these guys when they came out. You knew it was going to be fast-paced. You knew it was going to be a lot of fucking shit going on. And there was.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the match. I thought it was a great fucking start. You get Cole and Red Dragon getting the win in the first match, man.
People pointed it out at the pay-per-view, too, but it stuck out to me tonight as well. It seems like Luchasaurus has been just fucking going into overdrive lately. Like, you might see the writing on the wall about potential, like, Jungle Boy solo run, and he's trying to make sure that people don't forget that he's actually talented, too.
Yeah, maybe he's still not speeding up those kicks. He's kicked so slow.
Yeah.
Everything else on him I have zero issues with. His kicks are like so slow moving.
I think when you're that big, it's hard to move your legs that quickly. I feel like that's why a lot of big men just do the fucking big boot and just give them time to just lift the leg up, and that's all you really got to do. You just do it once.
Yeah, brother.
Exactly.
Brother.
Transition into a leg drop, and boom.
I'm only 6'4" now because of the leg drop, brother. I was 6'8", then 6'6", and 6'4".
But I used to be 8'3".
I remember when Andre weighed 4,500 pounds.
Back in the day, Andre used to look up to me because I, of course, was 8 feet tall. I love Hogan. Like that's the best part. Is like when you look back at some of the Hogan promos and you just realize that like he believed everything he said. The fact that they're as ridiculous as they are makes it even that much better. Because he cut a promo one time about like they were wrestling. It was WrestleMania, and they used to do WrestleMania at like one of the Trump buildings, Trump Plaza or whatever. I don't fucking remember what it was called, but he did like a promo one time where it was like he was going to body slam somebody so hard that like the tide was going to rise and it was going to flood the arena, and like he was going to have to rescue Trump from drowning. And it was just like it was just the most outlandish shit. Like it was wonderful.
Oh, at this point, most people would say, "Don't rescue the man."
Well, they're both orange, so that's sort of.
There's a question at this point: who would people actually want to rescue? I mean,
gas prices are pretty high. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You're right. You know what? After that, Smart Brian Danielson and Moxley came out.
That's it.
As to not go totally political with this conversation, they had the best friends out there. It was Wheeler, Utah, and Chuck E.T., who were actually the two in the match. Everybody else just kind of hung out at ringside. Danhausen, Orange Cassidy, the other rejects.
Or as he is commonly known, Trent Barrett is his name.
Yeah, Trenty B.
Because that was the only other guy that was out there.
Trenty B, as I call him, was out there. But Regal on commentary, gold. One word, gold. That's all you got to say for Regal on commentary. He was great. Another great, I mean, you got Moxley and fucking Bryan Danielson now in a tag team out there. And I got to tell you, they worked like they've been together for 8 years.
There's a moment that I particularly enjoyed. It was a good match, but as after the match. Because you had Regal come out and he slaps Yuta directly in the face.
Yeah.
As fucking as he can. Yuta bows up on him. But then he just they just stand there in the ring for a little while, and then you hear the camera pick up on Regal just being like, all right, be a good boy and run along now before it gets worse. And you don't hear what Yuta says, but he says something, and he's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But Regal's doing him like he's a pouty child. It's like, yeah, I know. Run on.
I thought this. I'm looking at my wife and I'm like, he just treated that dude like some fucking kid.
Yes, he dismissed him as a petulant child.
He did. But you got to remember, those guys did talk about bringing in younger guys like Wheeler Utah and some other names that they mentioned to build. So I think they're starting to tease that group is going to get built and they are going to start mentoring some guys. I got a feeling you're going to have a nice little hazing with those guys, and I can only imagine some of the stuff that Moxley's going to come up with to have some fun with these guys. So I think it's going to be that kind of group. I think it's going to be the kind of group where they just fucking, it's going to be like that tough love kind of group. If you kind of know what I mean there. But anyway, I thought this was just a great match, and you're right. The ending was kind of a little. I'm not sure I was expecting that. I kind of just thought that they were just going to keep those two as a tag team for a good long while, and then maybe start something after that. But I'm glad they're gonna. I'm glad they're at least teasing that they may actually start building a faction with these guys. We'll see what happens, I guess. Maybe that Paragon name will come in there, but I don't see Regal doing that kind of name. That doesn't seem like something Regal would agree to, as Paragon, which was the trademark we looked up last week. So, anyway, not bad stuff there, though, man. Not bad at all.
No, indeed.
Wasn't the best slap that Regal has ever given to Utah.
Well,
I think
that's the thing, and it's weird with their faces. At least I think that their faces, because you have them beat up their opponents and they berate their opponents afterwards. It's just you're man enough to fight us, or you pussies, whatever. But then you see Regal slapping people, and then eventually it seems like you're gonna want to see somebody slap him back. But then after you hear everything that's happened to him, it's like, please God, don't touch the man. Please don't take any bumps. You've been through enough.
Just give him a hug.
Yeah, poor guy has had pretty much every fucking conceivable injury that you could imagine at this point. Apparently, just in the span of 2 years. Apparently,
give him a hug. Tell him it's from Boxman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's all I would want to do if I saw him at this point. Dude, you need a hug. Okay, I mean, God, you've been through some shit, man. And without alcohol, I don't know how he does it. I don't get it.
Right.
No, I couldn't do it. But, all right. Regal, he's going to be such a big fucking asset for that company. I just don't see how WWE could have got rid of that guy. But here we are, and it's AEW's gain.
Right.
So after this, we get the Jericho Appreciation Society coming out there in the ring. I thought it was funny that the little guy in 2.0, I guess they called him Matt Menard.
They've gone through 800 different fucking name changes, and they just refuse to revert to the names that they used on the indies, which would make it a lot easier for me.
I don't know. Meanwhile, that guy, he was doing his best Joe Pesci, is what I saw.
Let's see if I can find the names that they gave them now.
I know one was Matt Menard. I think it was Matt Menard.
It's the chubbier of the two.
With the white leather on.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, this was a Kiss Jericho's ass segment.
Which
Jerry,
that's the exact point of like the stable name and the segment, and then it still made me laugh that I saw motherfuckers on Twitter that were like, "Jericho's a heel. He shouldn't want fans to sing his theme song." It's like, did you miss the entire fucking point of the gimmick? Is that he literally wants people to sing his praises?
right? And literally, they brought up the fact, like that whole thing by Matt Menard was him bringing up the fact that they sing him in and acknowledging it and saying it's stupid. What? People, Jesus Christ. Listen to what the fuck is going on before you fucking speak. Yeah. It was almost like he was doing a Joe Pesci impression, though. Because it was up to me, I wouldn't have none of you motherfuckers out there doing that goddamn song, singing, praising. But since you do, we'll let it go. Anyway, I did like that. Now, Jericho looked like a broke down fucking rock star, but I got to tell you, I'm glad to see Jericho in better shape.
Yeah, but I will say for somebody whose weight fluctuates, they should probably avoid giving him the nickname "The Big Deal," because that's what they threw that one out there. It's like I'd pull back on that.
Yeah, it might be a good point. I'll definitely agree with you there. But pretty much the main point of this promo by all these guys with the fact that they are sports entertainers. And I think it's funny the fact that, a couple weeks ago, Eddie Kingston had said that this is not a sports entertainment company, and Jericho ran with that and says that they beat up. Hager actually said that they beat up pro wrestlers. They are sports entertainers, which makes me laugh at Hager saying that because he's an actual MMA fighter.
Right.
Like, not even close to a real pro wrestler. But, it's just funny to me that they had that line. But I thought it was a good segment. I didn't have much issues with it. It was a little unnecessary for this show. I actually could have waited a week for that segment, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, they already advertised it, so you kind of had to. But
I know they did, but
I see what you're saying. It could have been on any week.
Right. I actually could have waited a week and maybe had a little bit more of something else on this show, but I don't know. There was no issues with it. I thought it was fine the way it came out. It wasn't a big deal that it was on this week. But I did like the next match, which was the Wardlow versus Scorpio Sky. And once again, I'm going to say it again, I still think they're taking advantage of this picture-in-picture. It's every match.
Seemingly, yeah.
I don't need it every fucking match. I just don't.
And it's especially, as I talked about last week, especially frustrating when you live in Canada, as I do, and you watch it on TSN, and you get the same 3 commercials, which is a McDonald's commercial, which I mentioned, an auto parts commercial, which I mentioned, and a commercial for the Canadian equivalent of, I guess, Postmates or some Grubhub, where they have Snoop Dogg rapping about the different types of food that he can order through the app, which is actually the best commercial by far, and you would understand why based on the description.
I can. Interesting there. Very interesting. Anyway. Just Snoop Dogg rapping what food you can get just really threw me off there a little bit. But anyway, Wardlow, Scorpio Sky, next match out. This was for the TNT title. Scorpio Sky had, of course, his little crew with him. Dan Lambert, Paige Van Zant was down there. And Austin Vandenberg, is that his name?
I guess.
I think that's his name. They were all at ringside. Now, Wardlow was doing great.
Mr. Paige Van Zant is pretty much all you need to know.
I think so. Wardlow was doing pretty good in this match, kind of, obviously kind of ragdolling Scorpio Sky at times. So, after a while, Wardlow had him. He went for the old Powerbomb Symphony. He got 3 Powerbombs on him, went for a 4th, which, of course, gave Dan Lambert a minute to go in there. and he jumps up on the apron, distracts the ref. While the ref is distracted, you see Shawn Spears come out, still looking like an asshole, in my opinion. I don't care what he wears or what he looks like. He just looks like an asshole. He comes walking down, again, making another distraction, which lets MJF basically kind of push Wardlow into the ring post there, knocking him for a loop. And then that's it. Match ended. Scorpio Sky wins, retains his championship. Vandenberg jumps in, starts dropping elbows on Wardlow. You could tell how careful he was being.
Sure.
You could really tell he was trying to be careful not to hurt the man, make sure he got his hands up before he dropped him. I think Wardlow might appreciate that. Not getting busted open. Wardlow,
according to this here rundown, it's Austin Vanderford.
Vanderford, I am sorry. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure that he is Paige Van Zandt's boyfriend. I don't know if he's actually like a fighter himself. I would assume so.
Yeah, she's married. They're married.
Yeah, well, congratulations to them.
Yeah.
My invite must have got lost in the mail. But he has 11 wins and 1 loss. How about that?
Got a good record. Like I said, it was. I know it might not have looked great, but the fact that the guy was being careful, I think we need to appreciate a little bit.
Right. He fights for Bellator. Okay.
Oh.
That's why I've never heard of him.
So does Hager. So, but after all this is going down, the guy's dropping elbows. Finally, we get Hager does finally get up. No, not Hager. Jesus Christ. And Wardlow finally does get up, and for a second there, he actually got his hands on MJF. Wardlow did. But Spears comes in, hits him with the chair. It's a beatdown on Wardlow. And on a completely separate note, at one point, Wardlow was bending down, and they panned to the audience. And there was a fully painted Juggalo.
Yes.
Juggalo. Just there.
And then not only was he in the crowd, he was in the fucking front row.
Yes.
I noticed this too, and I'm glad you mentioned it because I would have forgotten it. But I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, where are they? Because I was like, all right, if they're in Detroit, that sort of makes sense.
No.
It's the whole home base. But no, San Antonio.
San Antonio. We were in Thunder Rosa's hometown tonight, my man.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was a little weird seeing the old Juggalo there, but
which is pretty great though. I'm just disappointed that he wasn't sitting next to like green shirt guy or like Brock Lesnar fan, or just like a fucking cacophony of just your average wrestling fan of like motherfucker dressed as Macho Man, Juggalo, green shirt guy. It would be great visually to see them all together.
It would have been, but at least we got Juggalo guy out there.
I hope he becomes a regular. I like the lad.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him, but it's just funny to see him fucking juggle a fully painted Juggalo in the front row of an AEW show.
I don't even care if it's the same guy. Let's just get a Juggalo at every show.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I like right there. But basically Wardlow got a beat down. And I think we knew it was coming. They were going to get their payback one way or another.
But they're building it up, though, because that crowd was hot when he had him setting him up for the powerbomb. He didn't obviously get there, but...
Oh, yeah. It definitely was. And I'll tell you, man, the crowd stayed hot because the next match that they saw was the Private Party. They're completely back to their old selves, and I'm thankful that they are.
They brought back the velvet rope.
Yep, the bouncer and everything is back, and I think it was a great gimmick for them. And I'm glad they got it back, and I think it's going to actually be a big positive on their career. They went in there against the Hardys, and man, the Hardys got a great pop, man. Loved it. Loved hearing the crowd being, so enthusiastic for the Hardys. It was a fun match, man. I know, it wasn't like a nostalgic match, but just to see those guys in a new company on television. The Hardys just out there again, just kind of gave me a little flashback. I hate to tell you, I don't know why, but it did. I was just like, man, it's really great to hear see these guys coming down to the ring with their old music and everything. Just good stuff. Just great stuff by the Hardys, and I'm glad the crowd was so into it. Hardys did get the win, which I think we all expected them to get the win, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think they definitely expected that. All of the, what do you call it now? The AFO?
Yeah, that's what they were calling them. That's what their little video screen. I don't know what AEW calls their Titantron, but that's what it said. AFO.
The AFO started surrounding the ring. The Hardys were outnumbered, and before they could do any real damage, the AFO, Darby's music hits, and Darby and Sting come out and even up the odds, Mark.
That's it.
Yeah, that is it. Basically, they just sit there. Everybody gets out of the ring, and it's just a stare down. There's no action after that.
Darby hit his skateboard, Sting in his bat.
There you go. Sting in his bat.
Showtime.
Showtime, baby. Ooh. Then we had the main event. This was Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker in the steel cage. This was for the AEW women's title. And once again, reminding you, we were in Thunder Rosa's hometown. The crowd was obviously behind her. And I'm going to tell you, I've never heard a crowd so fucking lit for a goddamn mariachi band.
That's it. Yes. She had a full fucking mariachi band.
They loved that fucking band. And man, when those fucking, the trumpet started playing, I've never seen a crowd go crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. The crowd absolutely loved them, but it was great to see Rosa come down like that in her hometown. I got to tell you, man, I thought it was a fucking really good fucking match. Now, Rosa did have about the worst hat throw.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. Like, she acted like she was going to fling like a frisbee into the crowd. I don't know if she lost her balance or realized that it was a little bit more awkward to throw than she had anticipated. But it went for a full on, she looked like she was going to fling a frisbee to her just lightly tossing it towards a fan who struggled to catch it the front row.
It seemed like it caught her elbow.
Yeah, it was very clunky.
She went to throw it, and it looked like it caught her elbow, but she got it in the audience. Someone caught it, and someone's very happy to have a sombrero that Thunder Rosa threw into the ring. These girls were just out there fucking killing each other in this goddamn match. Both girls got busted open. There was around the end of the match, Britt got this scary contraption of chairs that she built. And it had no give, dude.
No, not at all. Usually the chairs bend, like you said, the chairs bend or cave.
Right.
And she hit the chairs and bounced off when a table doesn't break.
And, dude, if she doesn't have something, if she's there next week in wrestling, I'm going to be fucking baffled out of my mind. Because she really hit that thing and there was nothing. It was like she hit fucking concrete. That was hard to fucking watch. And, you saw Aubrey, because she was in for the other referee who got knocked out. Aubrey ran, and the first thing you literally saw her just go, "Oh my God, are you okay?"
Right.
And obviously she was, because when I was amazed she kicked out of that. I'm like, she's got to be hurt. She's got to be hurt. She wasn't hurt. Couldn't fucking believe it. I was amazed. Happy. Very, very happy. But obviously, we have a new women's champion for AEW. It is Thunder Rosa. And this was perfect timing, perfect time to do her hometown. She had the entrance. This is, I'm not going to say this is a mania moment for her, but this was a really great moment for her. She saw how emotional she was in the ring. She was literally crying in the ring.
Right. In a sense it was, because it was a culmination of a year's worth of build.
Yeah, you're right. It was almost. You're right. It was almost. So Just
364, if you want to be technical about it, because they showed last year, and it was the 17th was their St. Patrick's Day show last year. So
wow, so 1 day short of a year. I just thought it was a great wrap up to the show, and these girls went out there and just fucking once again, Britt Baker killing it out there. I just, like I said, man, I wasn't a big fan of hers when she came in. I thought she was forcing the baby face, and it showed. But this gimmick of hers has been great ever since she got hurt. I think she's been better than ever, and her in-ring work has really improved, and I'm loving it.
You know, and unfortunately, now that I'm looking back at the show, I don't really think anybody could have won the Christopher Kane Award for self-dicksuckery this week. There was no CM Punk promo, obviously no Cody promos, and I don't think there's going to be. No. Thank God. But yeah, nobody went out of the way to inflate themselves or fillet themselves this week.
No, not well. Jericho.
Yeah, that's true.
Jericho definitely. I mean, but he had everyone else filleting him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if that's actually the point of the promo. Because Jericho, that was the entire point of the promo.
Right. All right, man. I've got, that was AEW. Like I said, a good show. I thought the main event was great. But the other matches were just kind of a lot of filler, a lot of backstage segments I didn't even mention because a lot of them were just filler segments. There just wasn't any reason to get into them. The Jade Cargill segment, this and that, all the stuff with everybody. It's Keith Lee and Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Just not worth fucking mentioning. So,
little surprised that the Rampage card is kind of underwhelming this week because they're going to have the lead in. It starts whenever the tournament games are over, but they're going to have the lead in from the tournament. That people, a lot of people are going to be watching the NCAA tournament. It's always wonder if they're going to try to put on a card to attract the people that are still watching at that point, or if they're just going to wave the white flag. Kind of seems like that's what they're doing this week is just waving the white flag.
That sucks. Well, yeah, are they coming on early this week or something?
No, they're going to be going to be preempted for sure because they start whenever the tournament games are over.
Right.
So it's the end of the tournament game and then presumably about a half hour to 45 minutes of post-game analysis, and then you get the show.
So when you're watching, it'll be like watching old ECW at fucking 12:30 in the morning.
Probably be about that. Because, it's going to be about fucking 11 o'clock to midnight-ish.
Maybe I'll tune in. I'll be good and buzzed by then.
There you go.
Anywho. All right, man. I got nothing else.
Yeah, I'm good, too.
Nothing. Like I said, AEW was a good show. Not great, but definitely worth a watch. I think we got into everything we need to. Once again, rest in peace, Scott Hall. I'll definitely say that real quick. Like I said, a big couple of big chunks taken out there with Scott Hall passing away. But let's go ahead and get into plugs, Mark, and then wrap this show up since we didn't do plugs at the beginning of the show. We can go ahead and knock them out right now. And that means I'm going to go ahead and tell you should be listening to the High Marks. That's right, the Cheese Man, Mojo, and G-Wiz. You should be listening when Sunday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where Mixer.com/Metal Mitt Podcast Network. You should be there checking them out. If you are not, you are crazy and should go ahead and go do that. Also, if you are not subscribed yet to the Inhumans, that's right, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blaze on the Inhuman Experience, you should definitely be subscribed. Anywhere you find good podcasts, you will find them. And you've got the Everything Unscripted podcast, Eric, Doug, Daniel, everyone else that shows up on their show. Check them out. You can check them out live on Blog Talk Radio over there. Just look up the EUP network, and they are right there. And you can check them out. Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast on all the usual podcast platforms. And Steve Milan sharing the show. Greatly appreciated. Check him out on Letterboxd, boxd.com/Steven Milan. There's 2 L's in Milan. And like I said, I'm going to have my daughter by myself this weekend for Hollywood Hangout. I might talk 70s rock music. I said I wanted to talk.
There you go.
I said I wanted to talk more music. And I think I'm going to talk 70s rock music. I'll play a little music. I'll kind of tell you where it brings me back to. Obviously, most of the 70s rock was before my time. But I will be talking that. And listen, if my daughter, something happens with her, I can get up. I can do that. But this is going to be a little bit of a trial. And if this works, I definitely would love to start talking more music. So do a little bit of 70s rock. Just like I said, I'll give you a little information. I don't want it to be very DJ-ish. Well, you know, this happened on this date with this band. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually kind of just give you the way I kind of just tell you my feelings on the songs. And we'll go through and do that. I think it'll actually be fun. Hopefully it works. And we'll see what happens, man.
There you go. That sounds like fun.
All right. Well, you're welcome to join if you want to, man. I'll let you know. I might need to start late, but if you want to join me, man, I'm down. You let me know if you got the time, or if you want to, or whatever you want to do.
I'll see. That does sound interesting for sure.
All right, man. And hit your plugs, bro.
All right, Mondays, 8:30 p.m. on the Metal Mitt Podcast Network. It is Cheese on Sports with Cheese Man, G Wiz, Luke Birch, Matt, and myself. There was no Luke this week. He was sick. But you have an extra long episode because we did the NCAA tournament predictions, NHL predictions, NBA predictions. We ran down NFL free agency, everything that was going on in the wide, wide world of sports. We talked about Howard Cosell. No, we didn't, but wide, wide world of sports. Anyways, so we have that, and we have Mojo and Dirk's Most Dastardly Show. Be sure to check them out where you get your podcasts. And last but never least, be sure to check out our friends at Planet Rack on Tour. It's the Planet Rag on Tour podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. Be sure to subscribe so you can get all 16 episodes of Season 1 and Season 2. New episode 7 dropped yesterday.
Ooh.
Or I guess technically Tuesday, since it is midnight on most coast.
Yes.
So be sure to subscribe so that you'll be kept up to date with all the new episodes because they're coming down the pike as we speak.
There you go, folks. All right. On that note, back here next Wednesday. I'll see you guys Saturday if you want to join. Listening to 70s rock. On that note, see ya.
Adios.